Yup. Are we live? Yes. What's up, Lakshmi? How are you? Mary Spilo, yes. How you been, mate? Hey, nerdy. Delusional man. Hello. Bust out that sweater, King. That's right. Spilo. Ho, ho, ho. Hello, big dog. Hello, 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 hello. Mr. Ginter, hello. Doing pretty good. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. I'm in the Christmas spirit. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho.
You think you made the nice list this year, Spilo?
No, it's not nice this year. Ho, ho, ho. You guys feeling jolly? I'm spreading Christmas cheer. Ho, ho, ho. How's Venture sitting in plat these days? How's Venture sitting in plat these days? I'm learning. Well, hope your Venture's doing well. I think I understand that message. Favorite Christmas movie? I don't know. I really like It's a Wonderful Life, but I actually really like the original Rudolph. I really enjoy that personality of that. It's a few weeks early. Frick you. Ho, ho, ho! Thank you for the 5 hearts, Delusional Man. You're wearing my red sweatshirt. I'm jolly. Same. Ho, ho, ho! You guys can tell. I'm really in it to win it. Chat on screen is broken. Frick! Why? Why is chat on screen broken? Why, Santa Claus? Why? Frick! Why is... Dude, do I have to... Why is it not working, bro? Why does this happen? Come on, man. Are you serious? This happens sometimes. Oh, I like the sweater thing. So let me see if I can sort this out. I don't know if I can, straight up. Man, son of a gun. I just hate Twitch and OBS and poop. Why does this do this, man? Freaking tutor.
Can you control your language?
No.
That's it.
Kidding me. Alert box, chat box. How do you do this? Oolong tea? I don't know. I've never really been no, not alert box. Chat box. Maybe that's it?
I have the perfect mug for you.
Is this correct? Hang on. Maybe that'll work? Oh, thank you. Ah! Thank you.
It's the perfect mug for you.
It's not working, bro. Oh, wait. Wait, why did the emote thing work? Wait. No, it refreshed the settings! No! Are you kidding me? Dude, are you freaking kidding me? I'm going to commit a war crime. Can I change this? Hang on. I think I can change like the message settings. Wait, hang on. Font settings. Wait. I got this. Oh, it reset it again. Hang on. Wait. Thoughts? Keep spamming. Spam. How does that look? It's okay. Maybe it's okay. Maybe we make it a bit bigger. Spam. I think we can do a bit bigger. Like 30, 31. Let's try 31. Dude, things were ready. They were ready. It just broke. It just decided not to work. I don't know why this does this, man. I've changed nothing. I clicked the button to end stream. I clicked the button to turn on stream. Off, on. What would possibly change? I'm on the same internet, the same computer, the same Streamlabs, the same Twitch account. Nothing has changed. And yet it decides not to work. Why would I possibly test this? Frick! That's too big for that, I think. It's too big. I think it's too big for the off thing. So let me turn it down to like 29 or something. I hate technology, man. I just want to. It's just the worst. I hate it so much. There, that's fine. Cheers, Magister. Is that good? Are we good? I do that? Are we good? Yeah, it's fine. It's a little bit bigger than it used to be, but sure, fine, whatever. I don't give a frick anymore. I just don't care. I don't care. Who cares? I've given up on life. Idiot. It's fine. I'll leave you my money. Oh, okay, well. Is that fine? Are we fine? All right. Dev update. Let's look at the dev update real fast. Let me get my earbuds. I can't imagine it's anything major, but we can take a quick look. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. All of vanities, indeed. Nothing makes me feel more ecclesiastical like OBS. Actually, that's not true. Sony Vegas is worse. Somehow, a paid program is worse than an open source program. Somehow, they find a way. They find a way, OBS, or Vegas. Love that so much.
Hello, everyone. We are so excited to finally have a chance to talk to you about Vendetta.
Hello, Hope Kip.
So excited. We've seen the hype for her in the community ever since her first teaser launched in the game back in Season 16, and we know she won't disappoint.
For those who haven't yet seen her hero trailer, here's what you need to know. Vendetta is the daughter of Antonio Bartolotti, an infamous arms dealer and former leader of Talon who was assassinated by Blackwatch.
Now that the playtest
After his death, Vendetta was pushed out of Talon and denied the council seat she was set to inherit. With nothing left but the flame of her ambition, Vendetta became a combatant in Rome's Colosseo. There, she fought as La Lupa della Ritorsione, or the Wolf of Retribution, and earned the title of Colosseo champion. At the same time, she played the political game, gaining power and influence as she became a key player.
I'll give my
in
quick
Europe's
TLDR
elite.
when we're done with the
Now,
dev
a decade
update.
after she lost everything, Vendetta is back with a vengeance. She's cunning, ruthless, and here not just to reclaim her birthright, but build her own unforgettable
Dude, I did
empire.
not leave you on read.
Vendetta's not
Or
just
red.
here to change the world, but the game too. She's our first full melee DPS. Torgrim's Hammer doesn't count. And a real
Everyone was freaking out over like Doomfist, but I mean, I guess if we're being semantics about it, she technically has a ranged attack, but Doomfist is way more reliant. Even old Overwatch that were on Doomfist was way more reliant off of his primary fire, like way more back in the day. Like it was like a massive part of his damage output. So
threat to your backline. If you didn't get a chance to play her explosive gameplay over the trial weekend, you're in for a real treat. She's fast and powerful and has a really big sword that makes fatal combos that can change the tide of battle in an instant. When working on a new hero, one of the things we carry throughout development is what makes this hero who they are, what makes them stand out from the rest of the cast, which we call the hero fantasy. Part of Vendetta's hero fantasy, or I guess villain fantasy in this case, is that she's a modern-day gladiator with a unique weapon, a strong fighter that likes to aggressively get up close and personal in an unconventional way.
Vendetta's primary fire is the same iconic hard-light greatsword she uses to strike down her enemies in the Colosseo, the Palatine of Fang. This sword holds an immense amount of power that is unleashed in the heat
Big
of
fan of
battle.
Palpatine.
Her attacks are relentless. She starts with a set of 2 swings back and forth, finishing the quick combo with an overhead slash that deals critical damage.
Big fan
That
of any
last hit is trickier
Palpatine
to
fans in
land with
chat?
its narrower width, but it has an extended range to make up for it. Her secondary ability, Warding Stance, is resource-based, similar to Spike Guard. You can either use that resource defensively to reduce incoming damage and deflect melee attacks,
Shut the
or
frick up,
offensively
Poop Kip.
by firing a wide blade projectile. Those projectiles are a great way to ramp up her passive ability, Onslaught. With Onslaught, Vendetta's attack and movement speed will increase as she lands consecutive hits.
And speaking of speed, Vendetta is highly mobile. With her whirlwind dash, she rushes forward into a circular slash, which is great for hitting grouped up enemies or chasing down low health targets to
Sorry, I'm
secure a
being a
kill.
little bit
And
zoomer
for
with this
melee
because
DPS, she
I
can
don't think
spend
there's
a good amount of
anything
time
new here.
up in the air too. With her next ability, Soaring Slice, Vendetta hurls her blade and propels herself forward. You can use it to get out of a tough spot, but Soaring Slice also readies a critical overhead swing, so it's a great offensive maneuver too. If you hear that sword buzz above you, you know you're a second away from an enemy Vendetta slamming down to the ground with a powerful slice. The team wanted to make her fighting and combos feel seamless, as if she was in an actual Colosseo match and striking enemies in that elegant but deadly way she's known for. Transitioning into and across her abilities was of huge importance for us. It shouldn't feel like isolated actions one after another, but as if she swings her blade on the ground in one moment, and then the next she's flying in the air, ready to slice straight down.
Okay, you know what? Let's just give my TLDR right now. Basically, as of the last time I play tested, this is exactly kind of my feedback. I think I really like the character a lot. I think she's a lot of fun, but there is a definite question of whether she should be smoother and faster in certain aspects and probably hit a little less hard. And as in the execution of the goal, not the concept of the hero, or I think she's a lot of fun. But they did a lot of this stuff with Venture as well. I don't know if you guys remember this. And Venture improved a lot. Like Venture used to get a flat cooldown reduction on entering Burrow, that you had to do like the certain order of operations, right? Otherwise you wouldn't get the cooldown reduction. Venture was way more, like, not just clunky in terms of like the animations, which I think is more of what Vendetta's struggles are, but more along the lines of just like it just didn't flow very nice. You know? So I think a lot of Vendetta has similar problems with like the way that certain things are done, like the whirlwind slash. The perks are just really not well done. The overhead slash can feel a little bit slow, although I do like the fact that it's aim-based a great deal. I think that makes it way more satisfying to land, even if it is a bit inconsistent. I just think that there's like some of the animations with the sword toss in the air. It just like you could kind of go down the more that you play. There's like a lot of things that need to be done. Now I have confidence in that the team will do that because I think the team has always had a really good track record of making heroes like feel smooth. And you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to be pushing for that like 24/7. Screw balance, make this character feel better, right? But I think she can. I just don't think that she is smooth yet. I just don't think she's smooth yet. I think she has like immense potential, but I just don't think she's smooth yet. Like, yeah. So, yeah, I just, yeah, there's a lot of things that just don't feel right and with the tempo of how Overwatch 2 works. And yeah, I think, yeah.
Combos all around.
Because that's the thing. There isn't combos all the way around. There's just not. Like, Whirlwind Slash isn't good enough in a lot of situations to be used for combos, and its wind up is too slow, right? Combos in terms of sword slashes can often be too slow. A lot of the animations don't flow. Camera lock, third person. I I think isn't there even a difference between the sword slash overhead swing and the 1-2 overhead swing? Like you're locked in it. And then obviously the perks and whatever, right? So, yeah. Magic from Rivals is unironically much smoother, which is, you're not gonna hear me say that very, very often, but I think, now obviously Magic from Rivals has a way more burst, but I don't think that you necessarily have to have burst and still feel fluid, you know? Yeah. So, yeah. So, I'm sure that they'll improve it a lot, but there's immense potential. It pushes you forward a little. Right. See, like that's the thing I'm talking about. Like pushing you forward a little, but it's like, oh, but you can bunny hop. Yeah, but tech should be things that you can utilize. It's not something that should lock you in, because that leads to inconsistency of output. Yeah. It's just awkward, right? It's awkward. So she needs a lot more polish, but her initial like character design is like really freaking good. And I really like the fact that, like I said, that they lean more into like and so on. So the adventure, anyway.
All comes together for her ultimate, Sundering Blade. In the Coliseo, Vendetta knows how to command an audience. The team captured her flair for drama with killer animations and effects, an unforgettable alt line, and a devastating amount of piercing damage that cleaves through her enemy's defenses, ignoring all damage reduction.
As if that wasn't scary enough, the ult has 3 stages you can charge up to, each one doubling the damage of the one before it. Vendetta's skit is swift, fluid, and ruthless, and we can't wait to see the combos
Yeah, fluid is not what I would describe her as.
you'll all pull off when she
And that's my main
launches.
criticism.
Absolutely. We want you to feel dangerous when you play as her and inhabit the immense strength and fury that burns within Vendetta. All that perfectly reflects her narrative, which is a dark tale of retribution and an ambitious quest for power. Her conviction and story are designed to help move Overwatch forward in the most violent way possible, shepherding us into something new and exciting.
We can't wait for you all to experience Vendetta's fury for yourself. Until then, ready yourselves for war!
It being December, we're excited to bring the gift of Winter Wonderland back to Overwatch. This year, alongside our usual winter modes, we'll also include a special winter-themed Mischief and Magic, a new Mischief and Magic Wonderland, taking place on the snowy streets of Kings Row. One team will hide as props on the map while the other seeks them out, but this year also brings a new twisted version to the mode. The props will be able to go on the offensive in Mischief and Magic Wonderland. Throughout this year's Winter Wonderland, you'll have the chance to earn loot boxes and special holiday-themed cosmetics. In the spirit of the holidays, you can also earn special cookies upon completing winter and daily challenges. Cookies can then be gifted to our 3 winter spirits for special rewards. Beyond Winter Wonderland, the systems design team has been working on something really cool for those of you seeking glory in Overwatch. We're introducing a big update to our top 500 leaderboards, now known as the Challengers tier. We want top 500 to feel like a season-long race between the very best, so tear down your tents, ladder camping is dead. Wins now award Challenger score based on your rank, and the leaderboard itself will be ordered by score. Approved Challenger tier players will be able to link to their social channels. We'll be starting small with this aspect.
Dude, that is actually freaking nutso. That is freaking nutso. That is sick.
What are your favorite heroes for every role, Spillo? Also,
I like
what are
Onizen,
you drinking?
Brigitte, just tea. Genji. Oh, you guys are not gonna like my DPS list. Genji, Sombra, Mei, Symmetra playing, and then I like Hazard. Ryan's still pretty fun. Yeah, I like off-meta weird characters on DPS for sure. They also happen to be the ones that I've played the most because they've had the most reworks, so I just enjoy playing them. But yeah. Yeah, this is sick, dude. This is freaking sick. This is like, imagine getting promoted for being a high rank, right? And they also helping to deal a little bit with camping in theory. I don't fully understand the system, but I freaking love this stuff, dude. This is great. This is, even though this doesn't affect 99.9% of players, this is so good for like the community building and encouraging players to apply themselves. It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I'm super critical of like a lot of designs, but I enjoy playing them in the meantime, right? So
The feature in Season 20, but expect to see us expanding to more players in future seasons. Also, invitations to esports events on Face It can now be part of the rewards you receive alongside your titles and weapon charms, so dominating the ladder can help you get noticed by the world's best teams. This feature arrives for Stadium with the launch of Season 20, meaning that Stadium players will be able to get all of the core game's top 500 benefits for the first time. And lastly, while I work on events, I have to take a few moments to rave about the Season 20 Mythic skins. When the season launches, the new hero skins go.
What is going on? What is he?
I have to take a few moments to rave about the Season 20 Mythic skins. When the season launches, the new hero skin is going to Cassidy, the Divine Desperado. While Orissa's weapon is being charged up with her new capsule cannon. And at mid-season, we're releasing Magma Titan Doomfist.
Speaking of Doomfist, we're ready to slam down some big stadium updates for Season 20. First up, this season brings pain from above as Doomfist joins the ranks.
It's different.
I'm
It's
not
a
gonna
risk.
waste any time. I know what you've all came for. Are you ready? Rising Uppercut is back. I hope you all remember your combos. Doomfist is about to be even more disruptive.
Probably a good call in
Though if burst damage and
I mean, I
aerial
don't
tricks
know.
are more your
Stadium's
style,
stadium.
maybe you should go for the Seismic Slam Wham, which deals more damage the longer you're in the air. And did I say Doomfist? More like Heal Fest, with a support build that grants healing and overhealth to your teammates. But if you're
Stadium.
looking for an actual support this season, then Wu Yang is here to wash those worries away.
makes sense.
Power up your Guardian Wave with Tidal Save, Storm Surge, and Ebb and Flow for more heals and watery tricks. Prefer to go on the offensive with Rushing Torrent? Then I hope you're prepared to slip into your flow state, ready your Wave Lance, and ride the Undertow. This season, everyone's favorite cowboy is getting reworked. We wanted to broaden Cassidy's build horizons and create new powers and items for
They
his
have
crit,
to.
Fan the Hammer,
He just isn't built for
Flashbang,
Stadium.
and ult-focused builds. Shoot your enemies dead with the new version of Dead Man Walkin'. Or maybe go buck wild on Fan the Hammer and lay your enemies low with a full house. On the ability
almost
side,
done.
Magnetic Grenade is back, giving you even more range to disrupt those pesky divers. We've also condensed Cassidy's High Noon powers so it can be that special time all the time. To close things off, Stadium will see the introduction of an all-new control map. We're
pretty.
also introducing a new gameplay update. We've noticed some matches snowballing unfairly when one team is able to spawn camp the other. To fix this, we're deploying anti-spawn camping turrets to every Stadium map. These should
what?
provide extra cover and
Interesting.
time, respawning heroes to make it back to the fight. Jump in when Season 20
That's a crazy change. Respawn turrets, I don't care. I mean, it's freaking Stadium. I don't know anything about Stadium. I'm not going to lie with you guys. I don't know anything about Stadium. I don't care. Stadium's cool. Knock yourself out. Is what it is. Mythic is definitely interesting. We only saw one aspect, so I won't overreact. But it's I won't criticize because it has to be hard to make a Mythic for something like this. But okay, here's my criticism. Okay, you guys ready for my criticism? Here's my criticism. All right, art team. Here's my criticism. You want Mythics don't need to be glowing supernovas. Mythic is a high effort skin. You can do whatever you want with a Mythic. This guy is a cowboy. You know what would be a sick Mythic skin? A freaking going full out, high effort Tombstone ripoff. Full effort, high effort, Clint Eastwood, The Stranger, The Good and the Bad, The Ugly ripoff. Dust, cigar, whatever. Put all your effort into it. Fully detailed outfit, exactly. Not everything needs to be a freaking pagan sun god. Change his hair color. Make him change his weapon. Give him a long overcoat or something, or boots. Something like the problem with every Mythic skin is that every Mythic ends up looking like a giant glow stick, and that just doesn't work for a lot of characters. The Mythic skins need to be high effort skins. Mythics don't need to be glowing legendary skins. Now, maybe that's a problem with the descriptive term of Mythic and what people expect, but I don't give a frick about this. I just don't give a frick. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit his character. This is like, it doesn't fit his character. It just doesn't look good with his hero model. You know? It just looks ugly, to be honest with you. You know? It's not that the art isn't well done. It just doesn't fit Cassidy. So it's not a commentary on their skill. It's a commentary on their direction. That's my criticism. It just doesn't fit, in my opinion. And I think there's a lot of characters that just aren't going to fit with this look. Not everything needs to be a freaking glow stick, man. Like, some characters look really good with a glow stick. You know, a lot of them really do. But a lot of them just look crappy with this kind of a look. It's just a glow stick, you know? And again, it's not the skill. This is cool if it was on a different character. So, I just think that the direction with the mythics has been kind of it's basically every mythic ends up looking vaguely glow stick all the same. There's no variety in the mythic outputs at all. And I would love to see more variety. You know, this reminds me of like being like a teenager and like trying to stand out back in my day, and everybody colored their hair like crazy colors, and so everybody colors their hair, and so that everybody ends up looking the exact same. I just do something different, you know, go in a different direction, do something weird, you know. It's a miss for me, from what I would want to see. But you know, I don't know what really sells, but it's kind of a cynical way of looking at it. So yeah, who gives a frig? Yeah, the Honor Mythic is a good example because I actually don't love the Honor Mythic, but at least I respect that they did something different with it, you know? Some of these Mythics are just kind of like... I understand it's difficult where it's like, oh, we only got the one Mythic, you know? So but it just feels so freaking... It feels weirdly safe, for lack of a better term. Just like, oh, yeah, glow stick. Okay, well, yeah. The blog? Is this in reference to the skin? Gives you more looks. I mean, this one's a little better, I guess. But still, I'm not so sure how I feel. Is Cass appropriating EDR's culture style? I mean, he's American, so it fits his hero fantasy. But then I guess all the British heroes would be appropriating as well. Okay, let's talk about NA real fast. I don't want to go down this too far, but I do want to kind of talk on it briefly. I saw this one show up on Reddit, and I don't really have Reddit or Twitter installed, but somebody mentioned it, and so I pulled it up, and I figured we'd take a look here. Fun first event back. Excited for New Year. We'll play as long as I'm able to enjoying it. I bait ranting here a lot, but the game's year is way better than 23-24. Just some big gameplay changes next year. That's more depth how we look at the game. Okay, sure. So Hawk, you know, SSG had an okay season. Definitely underperformed a little bit, I guess, on the grand stage. But honestly, that even feels a little harsh. I think a lot of people, in hindsight, change their expectations for this team. But for many of you guys that remember, like, the expectations for SSG, like Hawk, and like they weren't super high. Like, there was a lot of controversy. Like, this guy's washed. I think he came back and showed all those guys wrong. I think they did a great job. They had a really solid season. And I think, like, this is going to be more of a conversation of, like, not just, like, the immediate stage, but just, I guess, the last several bits. So, first off, I want to kind of, like, measure my expectations here. Remember, we just came down not too recently from, like, I mean, was it last stage where it felt like NA was doing okay, took some maps off of Korea, was doing fairly well versus EU. And then in China, I mean, who was it? Was it Geeky? I think it was Geeky, right? And maybe Liquid as well. Both had, like, really solid pushes. I mean, Zero was crazy. Like, NA did fine. Like, NA did a fine performance, better than EMEA. Hi, holy smokes, Cat, you good? They did fine. Like, they did that. If any other situation, like, this year was honestly okay for NA. So this will be more along the lines of, like, let's not knee-jerk response why NA isn't, like, crushing it. So there's a couple of reasons why, and I don't want to focus more on, like, the cultural stuff, because that's the stuff that's, like, a lot easier to hang your hat off of right now. Like, EMA has a lot more Saudi Arabian funding with some of the teaming and training. I think having even the stuff like Saudi E-Leagues, I think the cost of living in NA being a little bit higher makes it harder to justify kind of committing full-time to a lot of the orgs who are in EU. Depending on where you live, it's just a lot easier. You know, Saudi's been dumping a lot of money into EMEA, a lot of other stuff. So that's like a huge deal. I've talked about this at length, but it's definitely worth repeating. NA is just by far the most ignorant region. I won't say stupid. I think I need to not stop. If I say stupid in accent, you guys know what I mean. It's just ignorant when it comes to the understanding the game. That has been the case for literally since the game started. I remember coaching contenders teams, working with contenders teams in EU, trialing around even as far back as 2019, and was always impressed at the level of like the macro knowledge that was always better in EU than NA, always, without exception. And that like mechanically, overall NA always had a bit of swagger. NA always had some mechanical freaks. And you could get away with that kind of stuff, especially because in many ways, Overwatch 1 space control, I wouldn't say it was easier, but there were more ways to cheat it with how often you had things like Diva controlling off angles, or sustain was just broken, so you could just push-pull, things like that. But TLDR is that NA would perform fine, but NA was always more top-heavy, like way, way more top-heavy. This obviously became a bit of a meme with American Tornado leading into Toronto Defiant, where like basically NA was superior to EU with like 4 or 5, like with one team. And then there was like a tier break of like multiple players at each position in EU. And then you'd have the second place NA was significantly lower. For context, Team Odyssey, of which like you had like the Vegas Eternal, that was basically Team Odyssey. They were by far the worst team in Overwatch League, by far. And they were easily the second best team in NA, and it wasn't even close. Graham, what are you doing? So like that, like Odyssey was the best that they had to offer, right? And obviously that year, Toronto Defiant wasn't good either, right? EU wasn't just better in terms of like the teams. They were just better players. Like you had like freaking Khan, you had Sparker, you had, Kellex, Funny Astro, you had Kevster, you had Kai, you had, I can go on here. I'm struggling to remember all the players from back then. You had Dredro, you had Vestola, you had, words are hard here. I'm trying to think here. But yeah, basically TLDR is that you had, Quartz, obviously Quartz for, Cookie, even just players like Cookie. Like Cookie is an EU hit scan. I've seen Cookie's still playing. Cookie was better than the second place hit scan. He just was. And that's kind of like how it's been for a while, right? The development of EMEA, whether it was due to a cultural difference, like in terms of attitude, it's hard to debate. But like Hawk was one of the best NA players, and he was definitely in the top echelon. But like you'd have like players like Hawk, Ultraviolet, Landon, right? Landon kind of got pulled out of that culture, ironically. And that was basically it. Like everybody else was kind of a fraud from that region, like significantly worse than the EMEA counterpart. And that's been the case for some time. And I think a lot of that, like I said, I do blame American Tornado for that, because it made the competition so meaningless. And it also really emphasized like you can just be egotistical, just ego it and you'll win, right? It simplified the game to a point where it wasn't as good. Sorry, Kitty. But I think also like the education, I think the coaching in NA has been significantly weaker for a long time. I don't always agree with Christopher on everything when it comes to like coaching culture, but he puts a lot of work in and he knows what he's doing, right? And Christopher is just one coach, right? Java Monkey, thank you for the sub. There's a lot of the coaching, even just the player-to-player coaching was better. I worked with Diff like a year and a half ago, and just immediately just struck with like the level of intelligence and engagement and what's being said. So a lot of NAs are basically broke, as they're saying in chat, or they're collegiate focused, basically. It's fine. It's not that NA players are not capable of it, but the culture has just not been very conducive to development in NA. And that has changed a little bit more recently. We've had some orgs getting involved a little bit. I think some of the toxic, top-heavy, basically all the chaff has gone on to Marvel Rivals or other games, you guys probably know who I'm talking about, right? Like these are players that they're part of the American Tornado. They're not involved in Pro Overwatch. And so the people that have stuck around, like Hawk, Ultraviolet, people like that, they deserve to be at this level, right? They might be coming back, right? They might, but they're going to have to get their butts in gear, because what worked before is not going to work anymore, right? People like Hawk and Ultraviolet were always the exceptions to the rule, right? In terms of like the level of intelligence, the level of effort, and so on. And Hawk kind of talks about it here. Hey, it's really bad. We got to find our style. I can't even pinpoint these issues because the other regions have more well-run teams to win more duels. We're bad at off-angle dive, map control, Overwatch, and we're bad at the whole team play, push, pull, skipping steps, the symmetric teleport, and they are. They're just not good. And it's not just as simple of like, it's not as simple as like, oh, it's a stylistic thing that we have to figure out. They're just worse players. They're just worse. They're just worse. Now, Hawk is, I think, one of those exceptions, but they're just worse. They're worse at push-pull. They're worse at off-angle. You're just not good. That's just, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There is a gap at every single position in most cases between EMEA and NA on every single position. Main support, flex support. I'm Landon's honorary EU for this one. Deep flex DPS, hit scan, tank. And the worst part about it is these things take a lot of time. You don't just like, oh, I watched this Philo video, and you have to grind at this and scrimmage doing this over and over and over and over and over again. You can't just watch or scrimmage a good team and then all of a sudden pick it up. You can't. You just have to grind it over and over and over and over again. It takes a lot of time and reps to get better. You can't just snap your fingers. It takes forever to drill that. And so that's why I've been very critical of the cultural stuff and the coaching stuff, because this stuff takes time and NA just hasn't developed. They just haven't developed. I've been unimpressed from a lot of these teams, but again, I don't think we should overreact. I think NA has definitely developed more. So let me reframe. They have developed. That is wrong. They absolutely have developed, but that's why they're still playing catch up. Let's put it that way. That's why they're still playing catch up, because you can look at players like Kaffa, Zira. You could look at players like Sugarfree that have really come into their own, right? I mean, he's been great for a long time, but kind of moving in. You can look at players like Hawk, right? CJ, so on. These are players that are solid and have a lot of potential, but EMEA has been working for a lot longer, So, do you think NA taking things less seriously has played a part? I mean, I don't think it's really fair to say taking it less seriously forever, but historically, yeah, sure. Sure. Could they catch up? Of course they could. I mean, the thing is that they have caught up, that to an extent. It's not that they've not developed at all. It's just when a meta doesn't really go their way. I've always looked at NA as they have the hero pools for budget Korea. So when the meta is more dive favored, they can kind of cheese their way, not cheese, but they can kind of fight their way into competing depending on the situation, right? If it's a hazard, that's something that, a player like Kaffa can kind of just immediately perform on. Maybe Ball, maybe Infected can give EMEA some grief, right? But EMEA has their system and they have smarter players and better players. So NA just needs things to kind of roll their way a little bit, but they'll get there eventually. I think it just depends on how good that support system was going to be with things like Dallas Fuel kind of coming back in here. And I also don't think it's just a simple regional cultural thing either, right? You guys saw the Virtus Pro legendary crash out, right? That team looked horrific in the couple of games leading up. And it wasn't the EMEA or NA players that were falling the bad. It was Fixa, the Korean, looked trash. And he's normally pretty solid, right? He just had a couple of really bad games. So the thing is a lot of Overwatch. I don't know how many guys watch American football, but Overwatch reminds me a lot of American football, where sometimes things just happen, man. The game can be very volatile. So I mean, you saw that even with spoilers for the finals here. So spoilers warning. Alcad didn't play as well as I think we were expecting them to. They looked a little shakier in some of the fundamentals that we expect. So yeah, I think EMEA isn't exactly developing in an infinitely better rank. I think that there's an exaggerated gap between the regions. That's very much a recency bias thing when we just talked about how NA has developed. But that is why I think more often than not, we've seen EMEA punch up here and there. Even going as far back as London Spitfire in 2022-23. There's moments where you see that, because I just think that overall the players and systems have moments, right? More moments than not. So, yeah, I think especially with sudden the development there, we'll see. So we'll see. Knowing that last season EMEA was considered kind of dog water. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I don't think that this is all of a sudden, I'm telling you, if Tracer doesn't get nerfed, I don't know if Crazy Raccoon loses this finals. Just gonna say it. Or at least I'm not so sure. You know, Genji, you know, if Symmetra gets nerfed, I don't know if EMEA looks as dominant, right? But I think even if you factor in those things, I don't think anybody's going to question that Landon's still one of the best support players in the world and has developed at a greater rate than some of his counterparts, right? And I don't think anyone will question that Quartz is insane, right? And that UB is vastly underrated in terms of, and that these teams macro, that Kelix and Funny Astro, I think, are by far the better main supports. At least they're the more consistent on the roles that they're playing. But then also, we've seen Kelix looked pretty bad on situations when he had to flex to Wuyong. So it's these. What happened is that EMEA found their groove. They performed really well at their groove. The criticism is that NA doesn't have a groove, and I think that's correct. But I don't think you necessarily have to have a groove necessarily. EMEA just has more clear strengths. NA is just more bland and has been behind the ball. Yeah, so anyway, and it basically TLDR is NA doesn't really need to change anything. They just need to keep their nose to the grindstone, start studying map control, study the push-pull fight planning aspect. Because the problem with NA is that like they need to get better at both things, right? They need to get better at this push-pull. They need to understand ult trading and fight planning more. It's why you see a lot of these horrific support ults where that EMEA support players rarely make. They need to do better with map control. They need to do better with off angling. And even like this recent tournament, I don't even think that I didn't watch a lot of the matches, but some of the matches that looked like NA was trying to do the right thing at points, but they just got diffed like really hard. I'm getting vibes of like proper just destroying people on off angles, right? Like there was probably some nerves that factor is there as well. Yeah, but you got to develop, you got to improve, you know, so. So yeah, anyway, long story short, we don't need to overreact if you're an NA fan. None of the NA scene isn't in shambles and trash and you know, it's fine. They just need to keep doing what they're doing and trust the process. And I think right now the development is better than it's been in the past, even though NA doesn't get as many resources potentially before Dallas Fuel. You can't really change that. You just keep rolling with it. Maybe this collegiate thing will help out. It is what it is. They're fine. They're honestly fine. EMEA had a good meta, and they took their opportunity well. So, biggest thing is don't overreact. But I will never miss an opportunity to criticize North American macro. You guys know me. Any opportunity to criticize North American macro, even subtly, passive aggressively, I'm gonna take it. I do think it's gotten better, but it's still such a long way to go. Such a long way to go. Okay. OWCS Grand Finals review. Yeah. No, I agree. I'm not responding. I think Hawk's tweet is 100% accurate here. I'm more responding to some people in there using it as a springboard to discuss other people's conversations, because as typical of social media, people are being a bit doomer about it. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay, before I get in here, I wanted to talk about one more thing. So is THK in chat? I was going to talk about this, but I wasn't sure. And then THK messaged me and motivated me. And I was like, all right, frick, I'll say something about it. Okay, I don't know if he's in chat or not, whatever. So long time chatter. Anyway. This tournament, I don't know if you guys saw Checkmate. Where I saw something on it. Somebody sent me this as well. Let me see if I can dig it up. Checkmate was saying that they need to nerf Sojourn. They need to nerf Freya. They need to nerf this, and this, and that. And I just couldn't help but smile. Because, where is it? Hi. Oh, is she in the sock basket? That's funny. I don't know where it is. Okay, anyway, whatever. I swear I saw Checkmate complaining about Hitscan being OP. Sojourn, Checkmate lost Grand Finals, immediately called for Hitscan nerfs. Yeah. So let's talk about that. All right. Checkmate's right. We're going to look at this here, and I like, spoiler alert, I haven't really watched this much. I skim watched it some, but I didn't really watch, so I don't know exactly what happened. But Quartz wins MVP. Quartz dominates on Freya Sojourn. Who would have thought? We talked about this a long time ago. Do you guys remember my 225 HP video where I criticized the 25 HP nerfs? This is why. This is why. Because the problem with pro play is they, in the same way that they always exploit block slop because they could find the way to break the system. They find the way to break the system. When you play Freya Sojourn for their burst and their off angling or whatever, and you give them Symmetra Teleport, and you give them Suzu.
Carrie says you are a loser. Just thought you should know.
Thank you, Baggins. I could not possibly care what she thinks, so I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you for the sub. But when you cover the weaknesses of the 25 HP with Pocket or Teleport or Suzu or whatever else, and you squeeze the absolute, then yes, the health nerf doesn't really have that much of an impact. Because the hit scan still has the breakpoint and the burst damage that they had before. And my main criticism with the 225, and this is why people's impression of Cassidy, Sojourn, Freya, fill in the blank, is still negative, despite them being objectively underperforming in ranked, is the fact that they still have the breakpoints and burst points that makes the character really frustrating to play versus. You guys saw my Kiriko video. How many times do we have a disconnect between characters' performance and characters' characters' perceived performance? And this is the exact example. Now, the irony, the real thing about this here is I don't think there's a gap between perceived performance. I do think Quartz carried the lobby because he got everything, because his HP didn't matter, because the burst is still there. And this is my criticism of the balance and design team. This is why you cannot nerf 25 HP of characters and call it a day and then leave their burst that people actually hate playing versus. Because that's going to affect their ranked performance. Let's get a big old fatty here. Ranked go down, but pro play will stay potentially around the same because they will still utilize the breakpoints. And by the way, their performance in ranked will go down, but people will still hate them. But the burst is still there. There's still server admin with the Pocket. So the exact same problems of why Sojourn was so incredibly powerful and Freya was so incredibly powerful in pro play are mostly still intact. It definitely reduces the value ceiling of the character for sure, but not by as much as you think. Because the character is still not punishable enough. And so you can infinitely, you could have 150 HP Freya. Guess what? She can still 2-tap you across the map. You know? You can still 2-tap you. It doesn't matter. They did this with Widowmaker, and it's the same thing when they reduced to 175 HP. So this has been my criticism. The problem with Freya and ranked in terms of how she feels to play versus, and the problem with Freya or Sojourn and ranked in terms of how she objectively is to play versus, is burst damage. You guys ready for this? I'm a big Season 9 guy. I like increased health pools, maybe kind of sort of, if it's done correctly and breakpoints and are kept in mind with non-aim. Yeah. So if you're a Season 9 fan, I'm kind of being facetious here, then where are my breakpoints? Why do we still 2-tap? Why are we still leaning into burst? I thought the whole point of Season 9 was to move away from that. So the irony is that we've the whole stated purpose of Season 9 was that, and yet that's not what we have. We've not what we have. We have basically the same amount of burst, objectively the same amount of burst, and the same thing with Cassidy, right? So we have we've maintained the same problems that we were supposed to deal with, and I think that's kind of my main criticism in what you're seeing here, and this is why. I get questions like, why are they still playing these characters that are weak? Well, first off, it's just right now double flex, as in double brawl DPS, isn't good enough, right? But apparently getting a poke is still good enough. But if you just pocket the crap out of the target and teleport them around, Suzu them around, the 25 health doesn't affect them. Problem is some heroes are all about burst, take that away and they become trash. I understand that for some characters like Hanzo, because Hanzo is just an old Overwatch clunker. Yeah, for sure. But you cannot tell me that within Sojourn and Freya, there isn't unexplored design space. You just can't tell me that. I will not believe you. I will not believe you that there isn't unexplored design space with a character with an updraft, a dash, primary fire, with their ultimate that still locks her in movement and has never even been tried with 250. And the same thing with Sojourn. I won't go down the list of hero design criticisms. I've already given my full feedback on how to actually make a 250 Sojourn work or how to make a 250 Freya work extensively. And I'm not going to do that here. But I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. So, is what it is. Your opinion may vary. I'm not saying my opinion is objectively correct here, but this is why these things are still being leveraged at this point in time. It will not change. It will not change. It will not change. So, GG's. Now, let's talk about, I'm going to move on from that. So that food for thought here. Moving on from that, how are these teams here? Basically, if you guys didn't follow, Korea got the teeth kicked in by EMEA. A lot of push-pull, a lot of kiting of ultimates, a lot of really good macro of playing around their layering of ult economy, using one ult to force another ult, and then using another ult afterwards. EMEA is generally very stingy and very intelligent with how they use their ults. Korea can be a bit greedier. The more dive hero pool characters of Winston and Tracer and Wrecking Ball and even Genji are generally Korea favored. Those characters are not as strong in a vacuum right now. And so the meta has been more dictated by characters like Ramatra, by Diva, by Symmetra, and even things like Sojourn, all of which EMEA can compete at better with Korea or just better, period. Just better, period. Okay. And so then we end up having two top-tier EMEA teams that have been playing very well. They have a very specific style. They often don't take early angle control as much. They take soft angles, but they don't take hard angles as much. If the map gives them, they'll take really deep flanks solo with their hit scan. But what they'll do is they use the teleporter in one of two ways. So you're going to use the teleporter to go in. Skip steps, just int. You're going to use the teleporter to go out hard. So you teleport back out again. So basically you cheat and engage. And the problem with teleporter is that you can't take a million different off angles and everyone takes a teleporter. It doesn't work, right? So you got to be more grouped up a little bit. Or what they'll do is they will fight on here, not taking super deep angles. And in mid-fight, they'll teleport their hit scan or their poke DPS. We'll say hit scan, but what I mean is Freya, Sojourn, or whatever, the range DPS. They'll teleport their range DPS on an angle mid-fight with a rail or with a burst. And then they're not taking an early angle, but it's just like BAM! So Symmetra is really good at cheating off angles. Symmetra is really good at setting up off angles and enabling her team to do so. And the reason why Symmetra is really strong right now, and there's a lot of reasons, she has an incredibly strong perk set. The range perk on her primary fire is very good. It's consistent. Her heal on teleporter is very good. It's consistent. Her ultimate is very good. It's consistent. Her health is 275. And then her health on her teleporter is one of the big reasons because it's very difficult to punish teleporter right now. It has a lot of health. Now, my opinions personally is that I think for people that are saying that this was a rigged win for EMEA, skillless characters, cope. I am a big Tracer nerf enemy. I think they nerfed the wrong thing. And I don't think it was it was just not tied to some sort of regional, like some secret rigging. No. Korea has been completely incompetent when it comes to playing this character. They also have been gapped on characters like Diva, and even to a lesser extent characters like Kiriko. And then also Lebda and Quartz have just kicked their teeth in on characters that they were supposedly equally skilled in. And then we've even seen situations several times where a Symmetra ban comes in, and we see other characters being played, and EMEA wins anyway. Even without the teleport, they win anyway. So did the meta affect the result? Oh, absolutely, unquestionably. Every tournament we've ever had has been affected by the meta. Just not possible. It's just how the game goes, right? It's a bit of RNG. Has it affected Korea positively before? Absolutely. Has it affected EMEA before? Absolutely. Was it a benefit to EMEA right now? Absolutely. Is it the single-handed reason why EMEA won? Absolutely not. So it happens. Go next. Go next. So you can't cherry pick when to blame the meta just because the meta was unfavorable to the team the region that always wins. And I also don't think that Symmetra is unbelievably overwhelmingly OP, because if that was the case, we would see teams be able to pick her up and leverage her value immediately, and Korea has been unable to do so, even in non-mirrors versus non-EMEA teams. They've been unable to replicate the same success that these teams have. The reality is that these teams have been leveraging that Symmetra value for a lot longer and have put a lot more time into just the general idea of push-pull and can find value out of it even without teleporter. So, is what it is. Korea got a little unlucky. EMEA leveled up. Enjoy it. Stop throwing hints. The answer is nuanced. EMEA got lucky, but EMEA also earned their luck. So, is what it is. Let's take a look here. Alcad versus Twisted Minds. Both of these teams go fist to fist, hand-to-hand combat in EMEA all the time. I am not a Symmetra macro expert. I will be learning here as much as you guys, so I will probably be quick to criticize, but there's a chance that I get something wrong here and there, so just keep that in mind. These guys have fought, I mean, an innumerable number of times in EU. They're both exceptional Symmetra teams. I think the difference between the teams really kind of comes down to maybe less of a play style, but more of a player thing, where you have people like Ziad and TVNT that have like relatively similar hero pools. But what you end up having is that historically you had Funny Astro, who's by far the more flexible support player than Kellex. But then you have, Landon, who I think is just, I think Landon is just probably the best Kiriko at this point in time, especially in this meta. And then you have, I think, Checkmate, who is by far the more flexible projectile DPS, skirmish DPS player compared to Yubi. And this team relies a lot on Yubi when it comes to his leadership and his macro understanding. And so, if you're Alcad, you might be relying on sim mirrors, but you would be pretty happy if you got away from a sim mirror here and there, because that's going to, in theory, open up your hero pool with your projectile, your skirmish DPS player. The other big gap here is that I think Quartz is just better than Lebda. There's nothing against Lebda. Lebda is a phenomenal player. He's still one of the best hit scan gun guys in the world right now. But I think there's a pretty sizable gap between the two. And I think the worst part about from the few fights that I watched is I think Lebda really knew that, and it affected how he played. And I was not impressed a lot of how I saw Lebda play. So basically TLDR, I think Alcad has a less flexible support line, but a more flexible DPS line in some aspects, certainly with Checkmate. And I want to see how this is played. I'm going to expect better things from Twisted Mind Symmetric gameplay whenever Yubi's in. But that is not a fully educated opinion. That's just from my general vibes from the ones that I have seen. Okay. Yeah, we're only doing OWCS most likely today. Okay. Let's take a look here. So I guess quickly we could look at bans really fast. This is going to be Alcad's choice, right? Is this Alcad's choice? I think Alcad was the higher seed here.
Right, so for Alcad as well, they get that.
Yeah, so Alcad, higher seed, they pick the map, ban Ryan to protect D.Va. I definitely think that's where Ziad is a little bit better than TVNT, that D.Va hero pool. Ziad is ridiculously good at D.Va. Ziad actually kind of did a lot of, like, I think he definitely impacted EMEA's opinion of D.Va months back, right? So Ryan bans, I assume, more to protect D.Va. This says EMEA 1 and EMEA 2, but if Alcad was in the winners finals, don't they get the first ban here? Why don't you ban Ram? I think the idea is that they want to save a Ram ban for later, and just protecting D.Va here is fine. Yeah, so I think that they get the Ryan ban first, and then Lucio ban from Twisted Minds, and you're gonna see, and you're gonna notice that that's kind of like the big weakness there. That Kellex is just not quite as strong on non-Lucio heroes as Astro. Astro's an insane Lucio, but Astro's just more flexible with what he can do, is my impression. And I think that's the opinion there. Okay, let's take a look here.
Pretty standard for them here with
Yeah, no surprises with rollout here. The big thing to highlight is I actually think Freya's better on this map with the verticality. You see Pharah being picked here all the time. Flyers are just really good with not only the high ground here, but also the high ground around point. This is the hero pool and flexibility. Lebda is probably not going to be quite the same on Freya. This is probably feels more comfortable for him. TVNT, Ram versus D.Va. I mean, it's no surprises there. I do think that the gap is pretty closer. I think Ram is objectively better on this map in a vacuum, but D.Va might be the stronger character. So, I don't really have an opinion on that one. This seems fine. Juno Brick, because Kiriko's banned, I think this is really, really solid here. You definitely lose the consistency of your speed, but you have the burst. Brigitta's basically his job is just to deny the enemy tank, whatever, as much as you possibly can. The problem here, and this kind of goes into my flexibility discussion, is that I just think this comp makes more sense on the map. Like, the problem with Brigitte Juno versus Ram is if Ram is good, Vortex is a huge problem for Brigitte backlines. It's just really, really, really hard to keep the Ram off without risking your life. And then also, as we've already established, I just think Frey is better in this point here. So we'll see how it's played, but Alcad really needs to kind of open up angles more so than Twisted Minds does, because it just feels like you're going to be able to park your Ram on point. You're going to be able to open up a lane with your Kiri, Freya, whatever, and Juno's just going to be untouchable, kind of hovering in the back. Like, you don't really need Lucio here. So, yeah. Brig is tough in the Ram. Brig is really tough in the Ram. Brig is also tough in the Freya. We'll see how it goes.
With obviously the Lucio gone here, it'll be Juno Brig. Simple on the Kiriko. Very high skill option, one that could make a difference.
I'm going to turn down the audio just a little bit. Let me know if the audio... I want it to be barely audible, but yeah.
Flanked as well by Quartz.
Yeah. Like, you can kind of see Freya already opening a lane. There's the anticipation for the teleport. They're going to flip the map and try to get Lebda onto a height. That's a good rotation. Then they rotate back. They split the angle. They're trying to bait TVN2 into a pincer with Lebda and height, but they're not really falling for it. Twisted Minds knows exactly the rotation that they're on, and this is exactly what we were scared of, right? Landon is low. I don't even know where Landon is right now, but Kelix is trying to hold space forward, ends up getting pounced on by Freya. There's another bolt onto his shield. His shield is broken. They didn't need Vortex. They just freaking killed him. He's cooked. Because the bash has already been used, Kelix doesn't manage his space. He's dead. It's over. It's over. You get too close, Ram kills you. You stay too far, Freya kills you. It's not that there's nothing that Kelix could have done here. I think if we looked at his POV, there's definitely probably a mistake. But the difference is that you get punished so hard for your mistakes. No space.
Just runs down Kelix. You're not having that.
And then as long as you're able to space yourself, Astro Quartz, as long as you space yourself, the only problem with this comp is that you are fragile to D.Va here, right? So like D.Va can run down, but if you space yourself well and pocket each other, you can be okay. You can be okay. And worst case scenario, I mean, Astro really could just play Brig here. It would honestly be okay. So a lot of trades here. But no. It just basically Quartz is playing the superior character, is opening up a way deeper angle because it's way easier for Freya to consistently apply pressure as opposed to Sojourn. So the way to look at Freya versus Sojourn is Freya's just more consistently a threat. Sojourn is a better threat in cycles. She has rail, she's better than Freya. But she doesn't have rail, she's not better than Freya. So they're going to teleport up top. They're going to do their pincer flank. And this kind of stuff, you're going to see a way more flank heavy stuff without the Lucio, because the push-pull with the teleport isn't good enough when the speed isn't consistent, right? Lebda opens wide. They're going to just end? What am I looking at here? Are they just diving back? I have no idea what I'm watching here. Ziad goes so deep on backline, but I don't know why. I think he's just angling top, and then we just see walking on point with speedring, and then just Checkmate just gets shot. I have no idea. He just gets killed. I think they're trying to punish... So what they're trying to do is they're trying to punish the lack of Brig from Twisted Minds. Because without Lucy or Brigitte, Juno's just really, really vulnerable. And you can absolutely see that's what Zion and Checkmate were doing. But for those in chat that know here, Hunter, thank you for the sub. This is cheating. They do have a Sojourn angle, which is like, that's nice and all. That's something, I guess. But they're just running it down. Like, you can see Juno up top here. They're just trying to run it down and kill the... It's just too far. It's too far. So even if Astro dies here, it was such an expensive push for them. Such an expensive push. And so, right, UB dies for that, but it wasn't worth. I really think that this was too deep of a push there. I think the concept is fine. You can open up your angle here early, shove them into a locker, turn some attention on TVNT, manage your distance, force out some CDs, whittle down his HP, force this backline to start to walk forward a little bit because you're not going to be taking any damage from frontline. Look at UB, force teleporter, and then go deep again on your second cycle. This is just rushed. If you're going to cheat like this, you need a way better angle or a support ult. They just cheated. They ran it down. It's not worth. This is a comp diff, and then that was just a really rushed retake there. Okay. Man, what do they even do here? Surely they have to be more patient. Freya marking every angle, just basically unpunishable. Is basically how you play on and double flex. Right, you're just trying to abate, live, make it as cancer as possible to kill you. So difficult to chase you down. And you can see it here, right? Like, they're not even going super crazy with the off angles. I would actually like a little bit more proactivity from maybe Quartz here between these cycles to pressure this, because this does feel a little bit too easy to stage. But yeah, you can see they even have the preemptive teleport just in case. They Kitsune on the teleport. But the promise is that Alcad can't really kite this out. They can't really back this out because we're at 88%. So it just Brig is trying to take space on the angle with Symmetra. The Juno ult comes out. A lot of damage done to Ram. Kitsune versus Juno. Kellex is on the angle, but it's getting poked out. I honestly think Kellex needs to... Okay, so this is... so I think Kellex's angles need to be a little bit more shallow. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Kellex playing more around pillar or more around point and just basically playing the bait and having the DPS go more aggressive here. I think Alcad has to be more proactive on the flanks, though. I don't know that you're going to be able to do anything as long as you're playing Brigitte. Because Kellex is just getting destroyed. There's the Frey. Ego doesn't get the pocket. There's no denying on the Diva. It's really well played by Ziad there to see that. Checkmate gets his teleport off. Will he get punished? It's just insane. No, he will not get punished. Ocular disaster. Can't see anything here. And I think this is like the gap right there. Like, it's a good kill by Checkmate there, but this gets way messier than it has any right to be because Lebda doesn't hit his shots. And they're going to actually lose this fight. That's tough. Tough. Should have won that fight. Just really feels like a mechanical diff there. As much as I hate saying diff, it just people just dying. Alcad can't make this work. Alcad can't make this work. You need a level of creativity and flexibility that's just not being shown right now. Hello, Wolfgang. The angle setup there wasn't good enough. Every single time Kellex tries to take space wide, he gets punished. I legitimately wonder if TM or Alcad could have used their teleport more on their Brig angle. Like, Checkmate plays here. Send Brig, Brig Soj here. And then just have Checkmate preemptively teleport on the flank here. And then just beam here. And then try to see how greedy you can get. But I honestly don't know. Like, it just feels so hard that you're opening wide and angle on Brig. But, like, if you're opening wide and angle on Brig, and then the other team is opening wide and angle with Juno, you're just going to lose at that range. Yeah, you're just going to lose. I honestly think, as crazy as it sounds, I think Brigitte has to apply pressure on point. Apply pressure on point. I don't know. Thank you, guys. Rough. I'm going to say Alcat has to swap, no? Has to swap. Yeah, so they're going to mirror. You can't play Brig in this map. Too open. At least at this level. Okay. Ram means early main here. But as these default fights go, again, that Diva has options. Frey versus Soj. There's the early teleport. There's the early push. It's more of a bait push, it looks like. So they're going to kind of utilize that to bait. Then they're going to use speed ring to push on right angle. So they're threatening the left angle while they push on right.
Clearly climbing up the ladder in terms of hit scan players in the world. Maybe sitting at the top at the moment.
There's the teleport. They're going to actually... So look at the timing of this push here. So point unlocks. Diva goes to point. And then they teleport all the way around. I don't even know who they were actually pressuring there. Who are they pushing? I don't know. Like, it looks like Diva was pushing this left angle here. And then they just teleport flip on back. Freya gets the angle. Lots of pressure onto the Diva. Lots of pressure. Lots of pressure. No more Matrix left. Dumping all the damage. Ziad has to leave. There's the deep flank from Landon. Landon's one. TVNT connects with Checkmate. And now that is happening on our right lane here, off screen. So you can see how spread out some of these fights get, especially without the Lucio. Right, it's much more spread out than you think. Rio, thank you for the sub.
I want that shirt.
Thank you.
Finally, a TP comes in and they try and get aggressive, but Alcad, you have to go down there and try and take point.
Uh-oh.
It's fine with them taking that position on the point as they do.
Suzu's burned early. What was a Suzu used for? Yeah, it felt a little early there. Felt a little early in the Suzu, unless there's pressure elsewhere, but that's definitely punishable. And Alebda gets the trade with Rail, which is crucial. Landon is just going to win this, right? Oh, no. He doesn't get it. I don't think it matters, though. I think they're going to win this one. I like this. This is kind of what I wanted more from the Diva, right? Where you're not going to beat Ram toe-to-toe. Like, this is stating the obvious, right? Like, Ram is going to hold this space toe-to-toe better. So instead, use your mobility, wrap around, approach from different angles, even though you don't even get the kill. You just force more resources more awkwardly, and you find more opportunities to punish people that are split. This is better. Like, this is what, like, yes, you can teleport your Ram around, but you're forcing the teleport to have to be used on your tank. Right? So this is, I really like how Alcad played this one more, because starting from right, well, not right there. Where are we looking at it? Right here. Like, this is kind of what we want to see. You send your Kiriko Diva on a hit squad. You bait the teleport, causes chaos, and even though Checkmate is dead, they still have the angle control, right? They still have the angle control. It's so important. Do you guys want to see something funny? Look at the right. Like, you guys can't see it here. I'm going to turn off my face cam for a second. Look at Calyx here. Calyx is on point, which is a little questionable. He gets run down by Ram, jumps away, and just lives. He just jumps up and over the Ram. You see that? Oh, wait, why is the face cam? Wait, I did the wrong one. Whoops. There you go. So, we'll go back. No, I was thinking of the sub. Right here. Calyx gets run down by Ram and just runs away. Right? Can't do that versus Diva. Not easily. So, let's see. I think the verticality in this map is a little bit less important as well, so the Sojourn Freya output should be theoretically close, assuming all things are equal. Quartz opens wide angle left. TM doesn't really have anything yet besides Bola. Alcad the same. Opening angle, opening angle. TM's going to teleport to point with Solo Sim. They're going to try to apply some point pressure. Ram's stuffing them out. Diva touches to stall. Teleport across. More pressure. Diva stalls. Teleporter's been used, so now that's really TM's opportunity to apply point pressure down for a little bit. Are we going to see the same thing where they lean and they flip? Because remember, wherever Ram is, TM's really strong. So you need to go where Ram is not, and that's kind of what we're seeing again here, right? Wrap around left. Ram is no longer there. They teleport. There's the burst. Can Juno get it in time? Yes, Juno disengages. Great disengage there from Calyx. They flip the map. Still chasing. Diva grabs Mega. Oh, no, she doesn't get it. What happens here with Ziad? He goes just a bit early. Yeah, he teleports just a bit early and gets smoked. Yeah, that was sloppy from him. He didn't have the HP for that, and he gets punished for it. Quartz catches Lebda. That felt like an unforced error there from Ziad. So Ziad's still missing health here. They take the teleport here. You can see it right here. And he just jumps to here, but he does it by himself, and he does it when he doesn't really have health or resources. It's too early. It's too early, right? Just take your time. You still have point. You're good. Unforced error. Very unforced error. Not really a sick play or even a shot from Sojourn. Because you're going to have that. Like this right here, Quartz is going to kill Lebda, right? That might have been an unforced error. Or just a forced error. We'll put it that way. It happens. But yeah, come on. So that one really hurts for Alcad. They got the initial rotation away from Ram. They open up their flanks. And then Ziad just ends.
And already, Jake, we were talking a little bit about in the pregame.
Yeah.
Ziad just ran rampant in that previous matchup. They are not letting him get away with that now, as you are seeing time and time again in situations where
both teams have to respond so quickly to pressure. Ziad's going to stage on the angle. I like that. I like that. I like that. Don't steal the Mega yet. Don't steal the Mega yet. Wait for the Mega. Wait for the Mega. Wait for the Mega. Oh, no. So your team has to match this tempo. That subscription notification was super delayed. Your team has to match your tempo. Look at Ziad. He thinks he's staging for free. He's not. He's not. They hard push. They hard push. And so I don't hate this from Ziad here. Like, legitimately, this could work. The problem here is that there's nobody from TM doing anything else. Like, look carefully. You can see it when he looks behind him. Right here, right? There's just not enough pressure here. So TM just ints on him, Right, and like Sarah Lee says, you can't even consistently bomb remech here. So even with the Mega here, the pressure is just too slow. We went a little too early. We needed to be more patient there, or we needed more aggression from Alcad, in which case, maybe we should have waited a second or two for our support ults. He just ends. So he goes off the map, funny, but he's dead either way. He's dead.
Rare mistake from a young superstar. Laptop's OC not gonna find anything at all with this. Yeah, and it looks like Ziad actually tried to like take his mech up.
And you'll see this a lot from both teams, where they think that the other team is overextended with their off angle. They'll run that down, no hesitation. They will punish you for staging sloppily, basically. If you try to take an angle too early, they will kick you in the teeth hard. So great recognition there from TM to just rush that down. Yeah, so what are we going to see here? Oh, gosh, it's going to be a mess. There's so many ways that you can approach this engagement. So it's really going to come down to, okay, so they're going to teleport to point and sim wall on point. I think that's a good play when you don't have point control. And as long as you can mirror support ults, you're fine. Crucially, the sim wall also denies the ability for them to just pop like Freya ult or whatever, or even Ram ult consistently and just win the fight. So it allows them to apply point pressure while also forcing the enemy team to close the gap with them. So Suzu's used. He teleports a point. Continue rush needs to come out now. I don't know what happened so late from TM there. I think they were planning on using the Juno ult first, but they just didn't use it. That was ridiculously late, and D.Va's there to punish that mistake. Ridiculously late. You can't sit here with an active support ult just because you have a sim wall mirror. Really, really bad. Lebda dies. Where's Lebda? Is he just on point? Yeah, he just is on the angle. He just dies to Quartz. See, Quartz doesn't... See, this is what I talked about, right? They symmetric teleport, but Quartz stays on the flank. And despite having a sim wall cutting off that entire lane from Quartz, somebody walks into his shots. I don't know why. It's really hard to see what's going on, guys. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. It freaking sucks. But there's a TP bomb attempt. They're really, really good at that. But Quartz is still uncontested on that angle. He's still shooting. And that's it. So despite Astro dying early, Quartz maintains angle. TM has angle. Alcad does not. So despite Alcad getting the first trade here, you'll notice a theme here. TM still has angle control. And it costs Ziad his mech to get it, which then forces another ultimate. But then because my D.Va's remeching, we're unable to utilize the Juno ult effectively now, but the Juno ult has already expired. You know? It's just a superior angle control. Twisted Minds loses or keeps their angle. Alcad doesn't. That's it. So I don't even think it's really a mistake from Ziad to go for the kill here. I mean, that's hindsight. He got the trade, right? Like, Astro screws it up. Maybe you could say Ziad needs to kind of play his life here and kind of stabilize for a second. He tends to kind of dump his health afterwards. There's no reason for him to get traded here. But also you could say, like, well, where was Suzu, right? And why are we losing Lebda on the lane here, right? It just feels so sloppy. Like, how is Quartz getting away with that? Criminal, man. Like, criminal. And once again, we're in a situation where Ram versus D.Va, and Ram's just better. Like, Ram in the toe-to-toe is just outvaluing D.Va in these situations. Ziad dies, Ram lives, despite having one fewer support. That's not all Freya there. Checkmate's more of a retake. This is more of a scam angle just to try to touch and then live. This is not likely to work. Yeah, I mean, Kellex just gets isolated and killed. It's just... You have to do such stupid things to try and touch. Yeah, Alcad easily... Or TM, sorry, easily wins that one. Yeah, TM comp diff, man. Comp diff on first point. I don't think comp diff as much on second point, although I think Ram is pretty solid there. Freya, just uncontested Freya, just raining terror. Brigitte couldn't do anything. Kellex couldn't do anything. I think the comp mirror on second was fine. But I just think some unforced errors from Ziad, some unforced errors from Lebda. Quartz just holds angles, man. Just holds angles. Ziad's timing was definitely a bit off multiple times. And then Lebda just loses the 1v1. It's like he didn't even with the sim wall, you know? So, and I think that's going to be kind of the, probably the storyline here is like, can Alcad leverage their heroes winning where they can? And then is TM going to fumble the bag with their rotations? And if the answer is no, then I just don't know how Alcad can win, right? Like, I just don't know. Okay. Bans here is going to be Alcad again banning Hog. Again, this is a Protect Diva ban. And then they're going to ban Kiriko. And this, you know, I don't think Landon's an amazing Baptiste, but Simple's like, hey, I want to keep things away from that Kiri Lucio stuff that you guys are so comfortable with. You can cast them off, yep. And yeah, they're just going to have to hope that they can outplay the Ram ban. Yep, or the lack of Ram ban. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know if there's drops right now. I honestly don't know. I have no idea. There's been so many random drop things I don't even know anymore. Okay, let's take a look here. I don't really have a preference for either composition here. I think again, like Nepal, Diva's fine here. I think maybe Diva's Diva's fine here. A second point can be a bit challenging for sure, but Diva's okay. This would definitely be a map to use the Ram ban though. Because if you ban Ram, TVNT is definitely going to have to mirror Diva. I don't think Zarya would be able to compete in this situation, but I'm not sure. So we will see. BAP versus BAP. Angle Max Symmetra teleports out to Hotel. TVNT holding early choke. Trying to deny the teleport. That gets Matrix. They're going to flip the map, rotate, and steal high ground away. So, Alcad has height. Twisted Minds flips the map. This is so important. I see so many teams fail to do this. You'd be surprised. I swear this happened in this tournament from a high-level team. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was one of the NA teams. But I swear that I saw this before, and the teams just huddled here. So bizarre. You have to flip when people take high ground away from you. You have to flip. And TM does that instantly.
Landon gonna feel good about this. A matchup where he's very comfortable.
I swear I saw it at this tournament. I don't remember what team just stood there like idiots, but they did. So early mark on Lebda. I'm surprised Lebda's dropping here. I think this angle just feels a bit awkward for him. But he could realistically just stay here. I don't know why he drops. Like, staying here and choosing this angle is absolutely fine. Just choose here, and then as long as you keep your eyes on the left lane. I know he's worried about like a Symmetra teleport, but who cares? You're fine. And then he does the crucial error, which he changes lanes, which is a mistake. But then he hesitates in the changing lanes. He's worried about it, and he doesn't commit, and then he dies for it. Do not change lanes unless you absolutely have to. And if you do, you have to do it quick. I don't think you can change lanes here without slide. This is silly. This is just an individual macro error here. Just hands the kill to Quartz. Quartz will not let you get away with this. Very sloppy. Very, very, very sloppy. I don't understand what the plan was there at all. Just mark the angle. Right here, get your Lucio, BAP, whatever, Soj here. Get your Symmetric control in the other space. Force them to have to rotate again. Just an unforced error. And so now Alcad kind of has to play for a reset, find a way to teleport back to catch Lebda, because Lebda's now completely isolated here. TM's going to try to punish this. They're going to try to group and run down the isolated target now that they've see, they've just used teleporter, Alcad has. So there's really no way for them to get away with this. Landon should die. I don't know where he is. Maybe he goes height. That's actually a crazy kite from Alcad. So they've used... I think Landon Kelix gets the boop for Landon. Landon runs into spawn, and then Kelix runs. Crazy play from Alcad backline there. Crazy play. So then that forces TM to back off. They're going to try to put their attention onto the Sojourner and spawn. But ironically, because they've cheated their angle control, they've put themselves in a bit of an isolated position. So everybody's kind of held in this space here. But Kelix just ends. Kelix goes in way too early and gets killed. Oh, man. Unforced error. The timing here had to be better. Because Kellex is before Ziad. And again, Quartz is not going to let you do that. Quartz is just not going to let you do that. He's just not going to let you do that. He's just not going to let you do that, man. Basically, here's what's happening. It's not just Quartz, but mostly Quartz punishing mispositions or bad rotations. From Lebda, from Kellex, from Ziad, the whole 9 yards. He's just not going to let you get away with it. It's not going to happen.
Just kind of going crazy there. Just rips 2 heads. Pincers coming off of the spawn.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Just turns and burns Kellex.
Early pressure, early pressure. Teleport has been used, so there's a window of vulnerability. Quartz has to be careful. Early posturing, early posturing. This is very strange. This is very egotistical. This is very egotistical. They set up the teleporter for bait, and there's some metric to go through. That's kind of their pincer off angle. That pulls attention from Kellex backwards. So watch Kellex go back. They get the teleport. Kellex goes backwards to peel off his Soj there, and then that opens up the rail with the damage boost there. It's egotistical, but it's well executed. And by egotistical, I mean as in, like, that is probably something you have to be careful about doing. Now, in terms of dealing with this, in theory here, that is absolutely something that Alcat could disengage if they were just a tiny bit faster and ready for it. So it honestly works because it's so egotistical. Why yellow, not orange? I have no idea. Or why orange, yellow, and not red? I think that's more like team colors, I think, but I'm honestly not too sure. Early teleport, flip, BAP window. This is a good play. It can be disengaged quite easily, but there's a high chance of volatility from this because there's a moment here where TM could get punished immediately. So let's see. There it is, right there. Now, they need more than that. They need to take space off of this. So I want Lebda to move. But to move on an angle to not run it down main. This is the problem. Like, this is where I say it's like Alcad just looked uncharacteristically sloppy, and I think Lebda specifically just didn't get the rotation. So, like, this TP rotation is great. You get your one. Now, deepen your lane. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Deepen your lane. You cannot tell me that what would Quartz do in this situation, guys? What would Quartz do in this situation? What would Twisted Minds do in this situation? Tell me. What would Quartz do? Where would Quartz go, I guess is the better question, from what you guys can see. Like, there's not even, right, exactly, not even a hesitation. He's got 150 rail, he slides top right, he gets speed boost from Kellex, or for Astro, and just destroys Lebda. 100%. And then just takes the angle and murders whoever else. Or does the thing on the left side, right? He goes to put, maybe that one be a little bit riskier. But you cannot tell me that Quartz would stand here behind a BAP window like a plat player and then walk on main. It just wouldn't happen. Worst case scenario, Quartz would slide down main, which would be a bit of an ent, but he'd have a burst window to do something stupid and cheesy. Lebda hesitates. He doesn't deepen the angle, the honest thing. He doesn't deepen the angle quickly, the dishonest thing. He just stands there. He just stands here. And so the irony is, despite them being down one, somehow TM has map control here because they still have angles. So this is still clutchable. And so what is Quartz going to do? What would Quartz do? Quartz would hold the angle. Quartz would teleport and peek. Quartz would teleport back on the angle. And then he would get a trade. Now, that was cheeky, and he maybe could have gotten a little bit more than that. But that's what I'm talking about. He got the pick. They did the initial 2-for-1 trade. They got their one. Good job, Lebda. But we need more. Huge trade from Checkmate, though. Huge trade from Checkmate. Oh, Ziad. Oh, Ziad. Ziad has to be so careful with that kind of stuff. Alcat kites it. Well done. Ziad may need help here. He's going to need help. He gets the remake. Okay. Forces Simwell out. They need a full out there. They needed a full out. Okay. But see, this is the problem, right? You full out. Okay, but we've made no progress. We've made no progress. We blew 2 ults for 1 to kill 1 BAP, and then we did nothing with that. No. It's painful, man. Painful. Painful, 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 painful. And so now we're forced to Diva swap, and it's just a disaster. And so now we've reset up Quartz on the angle. Now, they do have Simwall, which is a superior ultimate, I think, in most situations, over Ram ult. So they're going to TP top. Sim wall is forced, or teleport has been used by TM, which then means that we can use sim wall here and it can't get easily kited. So then we're gonna be able to take space off of that. HP has been chunked. Now, this is where Alcat keeps screwing up. You have downtime. You either pull a EMEA Hive Mind and run down a lane, run down an angle right now to force teleport at least, or you establish an unbreakable bunker. Either into like an idiot or unbreakable bunker.
Interested minds want to wait it out, want to delay to this very last second to use their annihilation. And Matrix coming up. Now he instantly pops it, but he's so low, taking immense pressure. Ketsia keeping the aggression on Sia, beat just in time. Perfect from Tele.
I actually think this is okay. I think it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. I would prefer Calyx to be leaning more towards Hotel. But I look at this bunker and I'm like, it's okay. Well, to be fair, okay, actually, I don't know, because Calyx might want to give Sim speed here. So I actually think it's okay. Maybe with a minor perk, Checkmate doesn't need speed. Yeah. I honestly think Checkmate probably should be able to care for himself. I think Calyx should be here. But this is fine. 1, 2, 3. This is okay. Bap is top. Bap is top. I think it's okay. My main criticism here is like I think Calyx. I prefer Calyx here, even with beat, and then we can run it right down their throat. I was thinking above them. Yeah, I mean you could. It's pretty easy to teleport that and clear that though. So this is okay. This is okay. This is not bad. The Sojourn angle is like really good from Lebda. It gets a lot done. So the beat honestly was like fine, but I think they win this fight even without beat if they play it okay. Wait, what the frick is happening?
Straight to the back line, takes out this just in time. Perfect from he's so low, taking immense pressure. Ketsia keeping the aggression on Sia, beat just in time. Perfect from Telex.
Yeah, Quartz contests the angle. Quartz runs in, Lebda runs out. Lebda gets forced out and gets pincered. Oh no, and then Landon messes up the BAP window. Yeah, Lebda goes back on main because he gets pushed, I think. But this is kind of what I was talking about with the beat engage, right? Like, you get the beat engage, but then Lebda doesn't get the beat because he's not in sightline with his team because he's angle maxing. So they didn't really do their whole like push-pull thing, and nor did they unbreakable bunker. They kind of did a little bit of both there. I don't know. It wasn't trash. It was good enough, I think, and they should still win this. A lot of credit for the junk bug for the regions. I don't really know much about Junk Bug, but most people that work with him have good things to say. So that's good. That's good of you be there. It's good humility there, and from what I'm hearing, it's probably right. What would Quartz do? What angle would Quartz take here in this situation? Let's find out.
They want to be aggressive, but they don't really have any tools to support it in terms of the ultimate economy, and so Card is rolling quite a bit here. Playing this.
Okay. Soj for Soj, Sim wall, beat coming up close. I think TM just needs to wait for the beat. Yeah, that they get it in time though. So they're gonna do a flip teleport into an ult, which I actually kind of like. This is really good. It's a good flip. Calyx just doesn't get the teleport. See, that's actually such a nice flip from Alcat because you'll take Soj beat for Soj for beat, I think, in most situations. But I don't think Calyx gets it. I don't know where Calyx is. This is the moment I remember watching. Okay, so Calyx unforced error. Dying that in the rotation there, unforced error. I think the fight plan is fine. It's just high risk. Okay? This moment right here is really concerning if you're an Alcat fan. Do you see it? Do you see the problem? Watch it. I mean, come on, man. Come on, dude. It's over. This series is over. As soon as you see that, it's over. As soon as you see that, it's over. You want to know why? Here's why. You have an active Sojourn ult, and you've just lost your Lucio, and they're all full HP. Why are we not peeking this? This fight's lost. It's over. You have an active Sojourner with 150 and you're full HP. As soon as I remember watching this moment and just thinking, oh man, Lebda's fricked. Look at the lack of confidence here. Complete lack of confidence. Don't tell me what Quartz would do there. What would Quartz, you know what Quartz would do there. You know exactly what Quartz would do there. You know exactly what Quartz would do there. You have to be willing to die there because there's no other upside there. You know, the reward is too high for the risk for you not to take it, and you're down one. You have to go. You have to take the risk, man. You just got to go. Like, I don't care if you're pocketed or not. You have 150 charge. This is a one-shot. And he just waits for his team. No, go, peek, kill. There's no one, and Quartz would never. You got to go. Watching that was like, yeah, this is over. It's over. And this has been a consistent theme so far, right? Like, it's not all Lebda's fault by any means. Like, there's a lot of other contributors here, but like, there's just not a lot of confidence here. They're so scared. Quartz has them beaten so badly. Well, the reason why his team's so far behind, yeah, I agree, they're really far behind, but also because they lost Calyx on the rotation. You know, that's why you need the speed. But yeah, I mean, it's criminal to see that, man. Any sort of pressure anywhere. And now this is just, oh gosh. Lucio's split, tries to retake. He should have died there. Oh, he does die there. Yay. There's the sim wall push. There's the sim wall split. Lebda gets destroyed. There's just a lot of situations here where the sim walls are equally placed, so it's kind of hard to criticize, but like the sim walls are not stopping Quartz. And it feels like people should be utilizing them more, you know? It's just rough. Rough. That's more of a mechanical one. You can't really criticize Lebda for that as much, but it happens.
Taking over the lobby, and Quartz, he's got the OC. Oh, look at this, landed. Up on the high ground, they found him. This is not. Oh, wait, what?
He's a bad man.
Landon says, fine, I'll do it myself. They come to contest him in the high ground, but it's too late. He rotates away. And finally, this is a chance for Casilla to take this player advantage.
They needed that. Alcad needed that. They needed that momentum here. We might see a BAP teleport into a BAP window, and then a Sojolt later. Oh, that lamp is really late. I don't know why they didn't lamp this immediately, because if you're gonna stand ground, you need that half of a second. But yeah, they pay for it. I don't know if the plan maybe was to teleport this. Yeah, see, the plan was to teleport this, and then I think I don't even know where the teleport went to, but it's just too late. It's an uncharacteristically sloppy rotate from TM, because Alcat has the corner advantage here, and so there needs to be a sense of urgency, and then Yubi just gets exploded. Now you cannot tell me, Troll of Duty, thank you for the sub, mate, or sub raid. Thank you, hope for the raid. I appreciate it. Hope you had a good raid, or a good stream rather. Words hard. Appreciate it. You as well. Thank you. Hope you had a lovely stream yourself. Thank you. All right. So what's happening here? I would like to see some off-angle pressure here. What the frick did Ziad just do? Okay, so they get their one. They flip. Ziad is really low right now. There's just okay. This is consistently a problem. I feel like it feels like there's just too much urgency here from Ziad, right? Like looking at getting your bomb forced here, just because you didn't just disengage for 2 seconds sucks, man. Like look at this, right? Like why are we pushing this here? I don't want to hear, oh, well, Ram was low. No, Ram was not low. Ram was not low. Ram also has armor refresh, right? Just chill. Walk away. Walk away. Find a different angle, right? Like disengage out, bait matrix out, and then set up a pincer push. Like send Diva hunting through here, you know? They don't have teleport to rotate away anymore. It just feels so sloppy. And then he tries to boost her into the bomb, and it just hits the wall. Teleport comes out. I think that's them trying to stop the recontest from Yubi. I'm honestly not even too sure. Or just to get the Sojourn out. And then they're going to go 3-2-1, run it down. But they don't have a pincer push anymore. So then that's just a flipped map from TM. And we've gone right back to start. But now Quartz has ult. And he's just going to shoot point. GG's. They're just Alcad just looks flumped up, man. Just looks flumped up. Really nice rotation from TM. Alcad is just not showing anything here. Alcad just looked completely limp. You know, we've talked a lot about individual errors, but TM also just phenomenal little bit of rotation there while down one. Really good job holding space while down a bunch. And then they just buy time, right? So, I mean, in every single aspect so far, team has looked superior today. It wasn't a crazy play. It was a good play. It was a good rotation away. It was good that they anticipated that and rotate well. But Alcad set up no off angles to prevent that rotation, despite going into amp speed, and got the Diva Bomb force before the fight even started. I do think the rotation was good, but yeah, it's criminal. Criminal. Yeah, nice boop by Astro there as well. This is what I'm talking about. Like when we talk about like even when Quartz himself isn't going aggressive, there's just so much support off of the Sojourn ults that just doesn't feel like it's there as much with Alcad so far.
With this much at stake, you've got to adapt to. You can't beat him, join him. And in a series with this,
we'll probably see another map flip here. It's a typical Quartz gets poked early, but he's gonna probably stay. Right? Deny the off angle. It's beautiful. Sim goes to mark that off angle from him instead. He's watching. There's the teleport use, so now Quartz can just kind of relax. Little awkward here. So you'll notice this with the BAP variation as well, that these rotations are not near as smooth because BAP is just a little bit slower. So Simple gets Vortex, Simple gets caught in the rotation. I don't hate this from TM. I would have probably preferred them to try to kind of brute force top and maybe even try to rotate across to the right that side. I think trying to go back is just, I mean, they didn't even get it, right? Like, I don't even know where the teleport is. Maybe Yubi's trying to teleport him out. I honestly don't even know where the teleport is, but it fails miserably, right? And so BAP gets caught in the crossfire. Yeah, just very strange. Why did Yubi walk back to mark the angle instead of Quartz? Well, it looks as if there was never really any intention for them to hold high ground. So Yubi wants that space, and Quartz probably wants top. It's just a question of who wants what angle. The intention felt like Quartz was going to go top initially, and then Yubi was going to go back, and then Quartz just never made the rotation on accident because he got poked down, and so then they just decided to like kind of improvise, you know. But I'm not sure.
Maybe there's a change here. Takes Quartz out of the air there. A parting message says there's two soldiers on this server.
Good punish from Lebda there. Teleport top. It's a fake teleport. Oh, I forgot about this. I remember this. Let's actually look at the setup for a brief moment. Yeah, they're going to leave Quartz behind. Yubi controlling this angle near the bottom. Bap Lucio top. This is more of a confident hold here. And then Kellex gets the boop. So that then the follow-up off of that teleport's like a lot weaker.
Interesting spot there from Labda. That's crazy. He took the flying Ramatra perk. The EME, the game's still going on. Well, it looks.
Well, I wonder how TM broke this.
That comes through here. It's Alcatia here. This is them up on the high ground.
Lebda holding top. We love that.
We'll see if it's enough to.
Lebda still holding top. It looks like they've been able to disengage an ultimate. Oh. Why is Lebda giving up the lane with ult? Even when I can't see anything, it still looks like Lebda isn't holding the space.
This is the sim wall here from the defensive side of things. Looks like it is Twisted Minds here Okay, so for my money, it looks like getting very close to taking this first checkpoint, which they just do. Okay, we're back into it. And I mean, TM off to a hot start.
I don't know what happened there. All I know is that led the pop a Sojolt and dropped off a high ground. So I don't know. I couldn't see what exactly happened, but what would Quartz do? Quartz would hold a solo angle and dare you to teleport on him. That's what Quartz would do.
And obviously we missed a little bit there. Apologies. But you can see that OWCS ends up investing a lot
okay.
of on the defensive side of things there. They have to
there you go. There you go. There it is. It's all right.
Not exactly easy there for TM. It's going to be annihilation.
Oh man, what happens here? Suffering, they beat Engage, they beat Layer, but they have an active Annihilation. And so they layer a fight that they couldn't win through layering, because Annihilation is the deal breaker here. And Lebda loses his angle because he's not supported on the angle, and then when he peeks out on main, because he didn't get beat, because he's angle maxing, he gives up his angle, goes back to his team, and then gets killed on by Ramatra. So you can look at this and you go, OWCS shouldn't have pushed that. They messed up their layers. But even if that wasn't true, even if that was bait annihilation, teleport out again, sure. The problem is that Lebda starts on a lane unsupported early, fails the angle, then drops to main, and walks into his team and dies. Right. So should OWCS have pushed with beat there? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they should have played more for the angle. I don't know. But if that's the case, Lebda has to space better. You would never find Quartz being punched by a Ramatra. You know what I'm saying? Right? The spacing there is just not there. I think the play here for Lebda is to drop, grab Mega, slide back to top, try again. Apply some pressure late. You know? Like the reason that the layer was screwed up is because Lebda's the guy that didn't get beat. You know? And so maybe OWCS shouldn't have beat Engage there. Maybe they should have played more to support Lebda on the superior high ground. So it's like these situations here that, like, I look at this here and maybe I'm reading too much into it. But if TM was retaking this space in a situation where they didn't want to ult layer on main, do you really think that Quartz would be here by himself? Do you really think Quartz would be here by himself? Especially if he's peeking this early? There's no way, right? There's no way. No way he would be by here himself. They're going to play for him. And so then Lebda gets poked out and then dies. You know? There's not even, like, I'm even kind of shocked here that they saw the Annihilation and they took a bad beat trade. Okay, never mind. The teleport is there. They go for a backline teleport. It's such a strange play. So they go for, like, a backline teleport and then beat Engage. But then the teleport isn't doing anything anymore, whereas TM still has their teleport. So if they get the bad side of the trade, they could just disengage or deepen accordingly. So they early TP to set up their beat Engage, but they do it so early, right there, that the teleport doesn't do anything because it's already been forgotten now. So when the beat Engage comes in, do you know how earlier when Twisted Minds pops the BAP window and spawn at the same time as they teleport? So Kelix goes around to deal with the teleport and then dies to the BAP window. You guys remember that? That's kind of the idea here. The problem is that the teleport is used a good 3 or 4 seconds before beat is used. So everyone can turn focus teleport, realize that nothing's happening or break it or whatever else. And then they can actually put their attention onto the beat Engage. What would have been better here from Checkmate is teleport now. Because then, with your beat HP, you can cut off the reinforcements from TM from pushing forward and pull some of the heat off of your front line. You know? It's just oddly timed. This teleport quite literally does nothing. Whereas TM still has their teleport, so they can deepen, they can chase, they can disengage anything that they want. It's fine to use your teleport early if it sets up an angle or sets up a lane. But it felt not a good teleport there, I don't think. And then obviously, I just don't think OWCS fight plan there made any sense. Let's not go over too critical of Lebda as a whole as a player. I think Lebda as a whole is like actually looked really solid from many of the games I've seen. It's just this particular match he looked really bad, right? You know, I don't think you have to say. I don't think it's insulting or not too insulting to say that he looked bad this match. He did. But it's obviously not all his fault, and I think that he's a very solid player overall. You know, just for whatever reason, just performance just wasn't there. Just not, and that's just how it goes, right?
Like this 2-0. A mental blow, which would be so hard to
Really rough. And now Alcad needs some sort of neutral miracle to get this out. And when you think neutral miracle, it most of the time involves your Soj angle. There we go. There we go. So there's a neutral miracle. That means no speed boost for your Sem. So she gets lamp. And it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Like, you go in here. He builds a bit of charge. He says, speed me, speed me, speed me, speed me. He goes in the lane. Nobody's looking. He gets a free couple of shots. They miss the... He gets the boop on simple. He gets the body shot in simple. Doesn't get the kill. That's it. That's it. You know, like, would Quartz have gotten that kill? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. They tried. It's a good try. It takes a lot of heat off of Alcad's front line. And then, Quartz just... I don't know where Calyx is. I think he's still in the lane. I think Quartz just takes teleport and kills him. Honestly, I actually don't even know where Quartz is. Does anyone know where Quartz is? Can somebody find Quartz for me? That's Quartz, top left there, unsupported. They take teleport. Oh, Calyx is still in backline? Bro, what is Calyx doing? Oh, he's stuck. He's stuck. He's on backline. He's still on backline. And then he dies. I mean, I think this is kind of like my point, right? Like, I think this is actually one of those moments where I think it's actually a pretty good try from Alcad. I mean, Calyx probably should not have gotten stuck back there. But this is kind of part of the risk when you look for these neutral fight pushes, right? They just aren't good enough to do it, man. We don't get the headshot. Calyx doesn't get the kill and is unable to get out. GG's, go next. Quartz will punish you. You know? But I can't be critical of the concept in a nasty neutral. There, you have to try. You just didn't do it. You know? And then unfortunately, by the time the BAP window comes out, it's too late. The lamp and shift have been used. The sim wall has had time to charge up. That's it. Ziad gets a couple here. This is also really strange from Ziad. I remember watching this, and Ziad just kind of sits there, and it's like, bro, you gotta get a trade if anything's gonna happen. But yeah, I get that. At that point, it's over. Yeah, I mean, Alcad just the fight planning just doesn't look quite as good. TM just looks way smoother with their fight planning. They've taken way better space, and Quartz is just hitting shots. Quartz is left. Cheers, GKB. Yeah, left, then mid, then right. Yeah, he's just so hard to keep track of. Thoughts in Korean Crazy Raccoon Pharmacy? I didn't see it. Maybe we'll look at it later. Okay. Alcad tries again. We're going to ban Wrecking Ball and protect D.Va again. And then TM's going to ban Soj. I don't know. Soj ban is like whatever here. It might just be that Quartz is like, hey, I can do... I'm better than on Cassidy. But I'm not so sure about the Soj ban because isn't Cassidy kind of bad versus D.Va? I feel like that might be a problem. I'm not sure. And I've not really been feeling like Lebda's been doing much of anything on Sojourn. So even if like in a vacuum, like I think momentum wise, you're just like, let's just keep the Sojourn rolling. I will if I have time later, yeah. Lebda being worse at Freya? Yeah, but you're not going to play Freya in this map. You're not going to play Freya in this map. Way too slow of a character. And not enough verticality. I watched parts of this match, but most of it, no. No, I think Cass is still too vulnerable. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's just... Yeah. Yeah, and Alcad keeps trying to win, man. They keep trying to win by protecting D.Va but not banning Ram. I don't know, man. Hindsight's 2020. Like, if you're telling me that Alcad can't win a map without banning Ram, then they're not winning the finals. I'm sorry, guys. They're not winning the finals. I'm sorry. So I know, okay, why is Alcad not banning Ram? Yeah, but you have to win 4 maps, dude. You can't, like, at some point you have to win your map without a Ram ban. You have to probably, if you want to save that for later, sure. If you want to use it earlier to build up momentum, sure. I don't really know. I don't really care. So if you can't beat without a Ram ban, then yeah, it's hindsight's 2020, you know? It's not like any of the Diva Protect bans have been stupid. It's been a good try. They're able to protect their Diva, sure, you know? So I definitely think that there's been moments where Ram has felt better. I mean, obviously, like, Ram is probably a little bit better in Kings Row and probably looked a little bit better in Nepal at moments, but I don't think the Diva's been unplayable. Diva's been fine, and just, yeah, it hasn't been it, man. All right. Okay, let's take a look. Cast, shorter angles. They push with the Ram. We already talked about Ram versus Diva, just more frontline presence. So when there's not a lot of off angles or verticality, it is easy for Ram to kind of force this presence. And it's not just through Omnic, or Nemesis, sorry. It's also through, like, Shield and Vortex are, like, really freaking good in just small spaces. So Outcast kind of playing a little bit of keep away, waiting for point to unlock, waiting for them to see some cooldowns, because then they can kind of drop their Diva to point. It's a good rotation there. Yeah, what happens with TM's teleport here? Astro gets booped out of teleport. I think it's crucial. And I think they flipped. Yeah, they flipped underneath. That's such a weird teleport there from Yubi. Not a good teleport. You don't want to stay underneath. Oh my God. So if anything, the teleport needed to have gone backwards, ironically, and get away from the high ground. Force them to pull them to point, if anything. And then Calyx does a really good job. I think Ziad as well, booping Astro so that he's like 1 HP. But yeah, that very strange decision there to teleport underneath high ground. That's a big no-no. Big thing is the jungle is trying to bait team into big bans early so Alvi could reach. Yeah, I mean, you have to play the long game, right? You can't rush to an early win and then open yourself up, you know?
Would be mentally starting to lose their grip on this series, but they really played that to perfection. Yeah, they TP up, they take some high ground control.
I just don't think the Sojourn ban matters, to be honest with you guys. I know people are saying, like, Alcad's good at this, but you cannot tell me that Lebda is better. Maybe you're thinking that, you know, the gap between Cass and Lebda is bigger, but as I already said, I have concerns about the Diva matchup for Cassidy, so I don't think it's that deep. Rare miss from the teleport of Yubi's. Looks like they're farming up a support ult here. Yep, Kitsune Rush, kind of farming. Don't want to take any risks here. Don't want to even take any angles that can get teleported on. And then you can kind of see Alcad sees the change in posturing from TM and start to back up. Very strange teleport. Who were they clearing here? Who was up there? What the frick is that teleport? Yubi? Are we good? That wasn't even a bait to behind them to screw up their disengage. Very strange. I would prefer just not to use your teleport at all here.
Around the high ground, and Twisted Mind sort of caught in the loop of chasing here, hunting for kills, but Ketsia don't give them anything.
This is crazy. There's the angle.
Need to make something happen here. They need to step to the point. And Labda waiting for that.
Is TM going to force point? Or are they going to brute force their teleport? Okay, so they're going to brute force teleport behind. Alcad flips to high ground. Oh.
So much more patience here from Alcatia. Opportunity to strike. So much more patience here from Alcatia.
Just RNG, man. Not even RNG, really. Just crap happens, man. It's a good teleport. They had Matrix, Suzu, the whole 9 yards, and they just didn't get it. It's a good teleport.
Everybody from Alcatia gonna hightail it out in that situation. So
expecting Alcad to counter push? I don't think Alcad would ever counter push either in the Diva versus Ram matchup, given the old situation. I think they'll continue to play Ring Around the Rosie until they need to, especially with point control. But I see what your point is.
Alcatia, though, Jake, not out of it just yet. 99% here on our first flashpoint. All 5 ultimates available here at the ready coming up. Double support ultimate for
take that one. They flip the map. They can drop the point sim wall trade. Kitsune on the teleport. That's good. Kitsune for Kitsune. High noon is used. Sim wall is used. Teleport has been used, so there's not a lot of opportunity to reset up there. There's a teleport later. Gets people low. Ziad uses they have to use the beat because otherwise Ziad will die. Annihilation's really good in these devolve fights. So Diva Bomb is forced early. High Noon gets folks low. TVNT is low, and they should be able to win this one. That was pretty good from both teams, to be honest. That could have gone either way, really. Yeah. So it's an aggressive push there from TM. They're just going to try to cause some chaos because the only ultimate that they're behind on. But the beat engage, TVNT is too low. Astro chooses not to beat. It's just a weird beat from Astro, really. I think that's the big mistake here. Like, TVNT is very clearly late. I think Astro's not confident on using beat here. And I think that's the mistake. This should have been the beat right here, I think. Like, I wouldn't have even waited for my Ramattra to pop Annihilation. Just use it. Yeah, it's a difficult situation, so if we look, like, really carefully here, this is a great viewpoint for it. The beat, the sim wall does make things awkward here as Yubi's moving forward and back. And you see Yubi, there's a real concern about not giving beat, but still, that's not, because Quartz doesn't even get it, but yeah. They get noon value, and that's all they needed, right? If you get noon value, that's the one ultimate advantage that you have. Alcad loves that, because that's probably one of Ramatra's better points for first fight. Well, I guess it depends, because that verticality is okay, but yeah, like regardless, Alcad is happy to actually win an ult trade for once. Not been going their ways today. This is a really strong point, I think, for Diva. It's very easy to leverage things if you can use it well. Quartz has to be really careful with the teleport there. Ram has kind of the off angle here because he can't really be rushed on with teleport. Early pressure. Nobody just wants to drop off of height immediately. They want to wait. They really don't want to. They don't want to drop off of high ground immediately. There's the teleport away. They don't do it in time. They don't flip the map in time. Simple, I think, tries to greed Suzu and then gets booped. Yeah, I see. He gets booped. They take the teleport with Diva, and because they can connect with backline, Diva can matrix the Suzu. So Simple cannot Suzu that. So he tries to not use his teleport, tries to use the teleport, but I think the distance was wrong. So a bit of a misplay from Simple, but also, like, this is kind of what the Diva can do, right? If you teleport at somebody and hold matrix over them, if you boop them out of the teleport, they die. They die. Yes, I believe Astro is capping. So really, really well done by Alcad there.
Getting control of this point. It's the dream first kill, taking down the enemy Kiriko, and both of these teams, you can tell they're just experts at this style. They know. No use continuing that fight without the Kiriko. No chance to sustain through.
Kitsune for Kitsune. Noons are relevant here as well, so keep an eye on that one.
You're back pretty quick here. If you're Twisted Minds, Deadeye TP combination available to be used. Let's see if they decide to kind of throw that out.
Looks like they're just farming the Kitsune right now.
The last time we saw them combo that also now.
Yeah, they're just farming Kitsune.
Simple gonna be able to get this Kitsune rush. Katsuya poking very well right now. I mean, checkmate Lambda standing tall with so much confidence.
Lots of early pressure there into TVNT. That's a teleport to top, and we'll probably see Kitsune rush right there. It's a bit awkward, right? I'm not gonna lie with you guys. Like, they flip the map, but they kind of mistime it. This could have worked better if, Twisted Minds, if they had actually rotated and popped it now. So it's like, oh, look, they're over here. Rotation, right? Then you take your teleport and go, but they hesitate. They wait. They give TM time, or Alcad time to kind of whittle them down. So this should be, in theory, a very easy high. Like, yeah. I mean, like, that you gave them time to set that up. Rare misplay there. Rare misplay. Just a very slow rotation from them. Very, very, very slow. To flip and then teleport anyway, and then just not to do anything. And it's also, when did Quartz pop noon here? I'm surprised Quartz didn't pop noon sooner here. Maybe they thought they were going to get kited. Yeah, he just pops it really late. Okay. Yeah, good play by Alcad. They were ready for that teleport flip. It was just very slow from TM. A lot of TM's rotations here have been very slow, or very strange. Not a lot of them, a couple of them. Phrase swap. Which is, I just think, a much weaker character. Much weaker character in this map. oppressively strong in the right situation. Teleport to flip. Teleport has been used early. They're going to try to engage on this to punish this. Annihilation's used. Symmetra Wall's been used. Early beam, that forces a Symmetra Wall, but checkmate is tiered up. Sim Wall's being used. Open up the angle. TP flip. Beat engage. TP has been used, but they're trying to deny them from actually engaging off of that. Beat for beat. Calyx gets out. Angle from Lepta's late, but it's there. Freya has space, but finding it difficult to do anything. Bomb is being used for remech. That might help them cap early. And yeah, Yubi gets caught in the crossfire. Some nice rotations from Alcad here. And Freya ultimately isn't doing a whole lot. So even that trade there is very expensive for TVNT's HP. This has always been their best map. Makes sense. Their rotations have looked pretty smooth here. They're doing a really good job of just like moving their diva around with a teleporter, right? Kind of using her as like a hit squad. So, Zarya from TVNT. This might just be a gamble move because this is not looking great. Who should Quartz have played? I just don't think they should have banned Cass, man. Or Sojourn. I just don't think they should have banned Sojourn. I think they should have just mirrored Sojourn here and made it work. The spacing is just so much better for Sojourn. The rotations are better for Sojourn. Your ability to outspace Diva is better for Sojourn. So, you know, these guys know better than I do about their ban strategy, but this is like the first ban from team that's really I've questioned. Yeah, I don't think it's made a lot of sense. I actually think the Zarya swap is fine because you're kind of just like you need a wild card, right? Whoa, what happens here? There's the rush. They flip the map. They get the squash. And then they just completely destroy the teleporter. They don't think you've ever lost Ujung State to TM? That's actually really good to know. Well, they've got their rotations down. All right. Touch with Kitsune. Sim Wall coming up soon, which is an unbelievably powerful ultimate versus Zarya because it's really easy to kill Zarya during Sim Wall. She doesn't have the sustain to live it with an uncontested Symmetra, and it's that should be it. Lots of zoning value. Zarya just explodes. GG's. Yeah. Alcad looks pretty good there. Like they looked better, a little bit more confident, but obviously just a very confident map for them. And unsurprisingly, the one point where whether through, you know, just, I mean, Quartz just was really quiet. I don't think Quartz was played badly. It's really, there wasn't really a hero or space advantage like there is when he's on Sojourn or Freya on a good map, you know? Just was all quiet, just rotations and layering, and that in many ways, I guess, simplified things just a little bit. There was a couple of strange teleports there from TM. Obviously, the late beat by Astra really hurt as well. But yeah. Yeah, so they just win the map. Like, I just think TM looked weak in a lot of ways. That initial teleport from Yubi underneath the high ground, the initial bait teleporter with the push on Kitsune Rush that just gets kited out, or even before that, the poor fight or ult layering. The second point was just the weird rotation they did very slow, and then they just stacked 2 for 1 and then killed them. They basically just win off of that. And then the third point, the swap to Freya, that just didn't end up doing a whole lot. Okay. Alcad ban Wuyong. I think this one is probably a deliberate ban. I mean, they're running out of bans here in terms of protect bans. Like, you can't protect... Well, actually, it's TM first ban here, so never mind. That doesn't matter. So they're just going to ban Diva. Diva's really freaking good in this map. Verticality is way better in this map, so Diva is just by far the advantage here. And then Alcad are going to ban Wuyong, which I assume there's probably a pretty decent threat of double flex or double poke support here. Astra, as we said, is by far the more flexible support player compared to Calyx. And so you're going to kind of yoink them back into a Kiri-Lucio mirror, which favors Alcad a little bit. But the elephant in the room here is Freya. And Freya is really good on this map. And to be honest with you guys, I'm a spoiler alert here, okay? Quartz is about to kick tail. Like, he's about to server admin. But I think the Freya ban would have been smarter than Wu Yang. Yes. However, I think given the space control and support that Quartz gets here, I actually think without the Diva, I think Sojourn would have dominated almost as much. I think banning Freya is absolutely probably the correct move here. Absolutely, probably. But I think given the amount of spacing without Diva control from Ziad, I think Quartz is going to do whatever he wants based off of the first 2 maps that we saw. So Freya should they ban Freya? Yeah. Would it have mattered in the end result here? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. Yeah, saving it Freya for a different map for sure. I mean, can they play Escort twice? I mean, you freaking need to ban Freya on, like, let's say Dorado, right? Or maybe even like a Blizzard World or something like that. Like you maybe you're thinking you can get away without the Freya here and save it later. We've already kind of seen. I think we've already seen that. We've seen some Sojourn problems here on other maps here, and we've seen that Alcat is willing to play the long game when it comes to bans here, which I think is not a bad strategy here. But yeah, second point is going to be a real problem. So yeah, I don't know. I do agree that Freya is by far, I think probably more lethal on this map than Sojourn is, but this might just be that Alcat has to save the Freya ban or thinking about Freya ban later on. So fair warning, this is going to be ugly. And remember, we said the difference between Sojourn and Freya is Freya's consistent lethality, Sojourn's burst lethality. So it is really, really, really important that Lebda builds rail and sits on Quartz's head. He cannot let Quartz take angles. He cannot let Quartz take angles. He is the only person that can contest Quartz on that character. I don't know what's going on here. Like this is my problem here. This is my problem with what I'm seeing here. Do you see the problem with the setup? What's the problem with Alcat's setup? This is actually a great freeze frame right here. What's the problem with this setup? The problem with this setup here is how aggressive Ziad is holding space and how unbelievably passive Lebda is. There's just not enough damage here. Like, Lebda's angle is just unbelievably passive. He even gets shielded out. Now, I'm sure there's like a cooldown cycling problem as well. We've already established that Ziad's just like really good at Ram, but I think definitely the advantage here is more on the Diva. But like, if we're gonna be holding here, you have to be ballsy, man. Like, you have to have a bit of an ego, you know? You gotta be like, I can hold space, give me the resources, I'm not gonna let the Ram do anything. And to be fair, Lebda does get the trade here, right? But there just has to be more punishment. There just isn't enough punishment, right? Like, it's like your Ram is holding the angle here, and like, that just can't be. That just can't be. Meanwhile, look at Quartz, man. Quartz is the one on the angle. He's not even getting a lot of pocket here, right? He's getting some healing here and there, and he's just completely uncontested on that lane. You cannot let Quartz hold this lane. You cannot let Quartz hold this lane. You cannot let Quartz hold this lane. He's 74% or whatever before the fight's over. Look at this, man. Is Symmetra the strongest here at the peak level? And the current strength of the character? Potentially, maybe? I don't know. The only person that can contest Quartz's lane and open up his own lane is Lebda. That's the only person. Oh my days. And they're just stuffing it, right? Do you see the aggression of TVNT, right? The aggression of TVNT is mirrored by Quartz' aggressive angle here. Alcad, meanwhile, has to get out of the choke. And maybe they're a little early here. But it's not really mirrored by aggression elsewhere. You notice that? There's no real aggression elsewhere. So there's the aggression, but it's mistimed. Because Lebda is going now. You can see it. So watch Lebda's ult charge here really fast. 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Okay, there's pressure. But Alcad's already on the way out, which then means TVNT doesn't need Freya's support to continue to hold this lane by himself. Which then means Quartz can fully focus on the left lane and TVNT is just chilling. Dude, you guys, I'm not responding to that. So she's just 2v1, right? She gets, not even a 2v1. I mean, Quartz obviously gets help there, but it's just a mistimed pressure. Quartz literally gets his cake and eats it too, right? I don't know why I said literally. He gets a burn Ram and then turn on the angle. It's mistimed pressure. It's mistimed. Horrifically mistimed. You cannot do that. You got to go 3, 2, 1, turn. 3, 2, 1, turn. 3, 2, 1, turn. Remember when we were listening to Owlcat play versus Crazy Raccoon and they did the comms check? That's not here.
Slows the play down.
It's not here.
Into a final retake, but now very telegraphed. Courts knows exactly where they're coming from.
Again, it's just so mistimed. I know they're playing for the touch, but there's just no way. And there's checkmate going in after Ziad's already on the way out. Ziad's already dead. It's just, they're fricked, dude. No, I'm not repeating the last part.
And they are just punishing Ziad as he tries to move into some of these chokes. The vortex in the mix after all that damage that comes down.
You understand what I'm saying? It's 3, 2, 1, turn. 3, 2, 1, turn. You got to sink that pressure. You got to sink it, sink it, sink it. Especially when you're retaking. Luthwag, thank you for the sub. Not turn, it's not scouting. I'm not sure what you mean.
Kellex is going to go out there, try and contest, stop that payload from moving. Does not even make it. Hit with a bola shot.
Ram top.
Look at this. I mean,
retake here.
Car washed it up here.
Oh boy, this is going to be hard to retake. Yeah, I think they realize that. Maybe we should get a split push here.
Don't want to push out of here. It feels so brutal. Yeah, they're coming down to the bottom right here. A wise decision. Maybe can path directly to the payload. Bypass this Twisted Minds high ground hold. TP out for now.
So they teleport out, not to height, because that's kind of what Twisted Minds is expecting. Although I will say Aster's not there to boop it. They go underneath. They boop the engage. They Kitsune rush on point. This is okay. This is pretty good. It's all right. Yeah. See, they played in a location where Quartz was no longer set up to punish, right? So when they teleported underneath, the setup from TM was useless, right? So they teleported away from the angle. TVNT tries to punish, but then he ends up getting punished. If you don't know where enemy is, you can't TP or fight. They're fighting with a Freya being on a kill angle. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. I'm saying when you're retaking, you know that they're set up to punish a choke. So whatever choke that you walk out of with your split, you cannot walk out of the split with your ram going first and then backing up and then your angle pushing out. It has to be synchronized.
Hit me with a 230 ad break and I had to resub.
Now, if you want to do a 3-2-1 as 5, so if you go back to here, if you want to do a 3-2-1 walk out as 5, then you need to go 3-2-1, walk out, ram shield, teleport instantly to billboard, flip the map. They didn't know, both Kellex and the Sojourn not looking. I saw an OPR too. Okay, well, I mean, I obviously don't have OPR, but regardless of whether Kellex or Kellex and Lebda knew that Quartz was there, they're not doing anything right now. That's my problem. So this is either Ziad going too early or Lebda and Kellex sitting on their hands. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the point being, whether they knew or not, nothing is happening on the angle here. This is a legitimate 3v4 right now with a Freya. You can't do that. You can't blow your resources before your DPS are in position to take space. And then the same problem happens here, where Ziad goes for touch, shield, a full 2 or 3 seconds early, and then we get our off angle from Sam or whatever else, right? It just allows people to just, like, Quartz can literally do 3 different things at the same time. The difference here is that they go 3-2-1 5-man TP, bam. So that they're, shockingly 5 people are doing something. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying. Like they didn't know where Quartz was. That is a serious problem. But I'm just kind of going off of what I can see, from this. And it works, right? Like it works. Like there's an actual kind of an attempt at synchronized pressure. They get some of their mojo back. So going underneath where Freya can't shoot and then just dropping all your bombs onto TVNT, there you go. That's just so unearned, man. Just so unearned. How does he get those trades? It probably doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things, but that's just so criminal. If they realize where the enemy is in their position, enemy body, and then TP under key is knowing what the enemy body is doing, they're also not making a decision first. Yeah. So you're saying scouting ahead of time and then setting up your teleport from there? I mean, sure. Yeah, I suppose. I think what you're saying is that if you go for early scouting with 5 and then you can teleport afterwards, I would argue then, okay, then if we're going for a split push, then timing is key, right? But whatever else, the timing is wrong. You can't make a chess move without knowing where the chessboard is? I mean, I guess. There are assumptions that are being made. I'm not sure I understand your point. Are you saying scouting is important? Yes, but that's not what I'm talking about. You can absolutely blind walk out of a choke and teleport on a lane. It's not optimal. If you're saying that the reason that they peaked there was for scouting, then I would argue, why are they scouting when they're in no position to push? And if they're scouting for a teleport flank, then why are they not teleporting, flipping with 5?
Our play for TM on the next retake. But those are the types of fights
Every like latency that you make with your scouting in action is punishable by a DPS in a good angle. You can't wait.
And they're actually able to get rid of TVNT. Now the rush comes in.
I feel like this is just a classic like Twitch chat conversation where like we probably are saying the same things and just not understanding each other. Okay, so Quartz on the angle with Lucio Pocket. Probably gonna like either see a Kitsune on point to make noise, Symbol on point, and then just gonna set up Quartz for his Bola. There's the Soj ult, there's the Symbol on the Soj ult. They TP out of the Soj ult. Lebda just... What is Lebda doing? Did you guys see what I'm saying? Lebda looks so scared. Like, it just, there's so much fear here. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sojo's popped. Simwall's used in response. Okay. Beat. Okay, fine. Whatever. But, like, you're telling me that we're not even gonna, like, try? You're not gonna even try? Like, we're not gonna even look for Quartz or something? Like, we're sliding back. I don't know. I understand there's an active Kitsune rush and maybe he doesn't want to, but like, don't tell me that Quartz would slide out that soon and then drop off of high ground. There's just no way. There's just no way. Quartz, maybe the optimal play would be to slide back here, but in no way, shape, or form is it to drop, right? To go underneath, right? No way. No way, right? Simwall's used to deny height. That allows Leb to retake the space. So there's an opportunity there. Do they retake space with that? They teleport away from it. They flip the height. There's the looking at Quartz. That's okay. Bola's used. Beat's used to keep alive. Beat for beat. Point is flipped. Do they still hold space? Punishment on Quartz. Punishment on Quartz. Lebda takes height. Nice job. Lebda takes top, doesn't get resources, does get resources, but does he drop? So there's like a really important moment here where Lebda goes top here. But I think there's just too much resource being thrown here. I don't know. Like I think, okay, so like this is where like we've talked a lot about like the push pull and like the EMEA teleport flips and stuff like that. And this particular situation, I think what Alcat struggles with is in these moments where like this is just dive. Or poke, or whatever you want to call it. It's just angles. It's all it is angles right now. There's no push-pull. There's no support ults. There's no DPS ults. There's too many mobile. We need to play to support your DPS on height. And in these moments, I just have so much more confidence in team's capability of putting resources into that. Not to mention, I mean, even literally resources like throwing teleport or turrets on top, right? I mean, for crying out loud, right? And then Quartz goes top, Lebda goes top. One of them has support, right? One of them does not. And that's it. You know, like that's it. That's it. You know, so Lebda has to drop. So can you guess who's on high ground right now? Right? Can you guess who's on top? And can you guess who's getting support right now? You know? Like we can talk about Lebda being a choker all you want, for sure. Okay, fine. But who's up here right now? Right? Do you see it? Angle OP. And that's it, right? That's all the resources taken away. Free angle. Ziad's paying the price. Now, Ziad's had a couple of unnecessary deaths for sure. Like, I look at this situation here, and I really don't like Ziad deep peeking with his shield here. He needs to kind of disengage and give up more space than he is right now. He's kind of forcing it on cart. That feels like an unnecessary error. He's just taking so much damage, right? Like, what are we doing here, right? So definitely some mechanical errors from Ziad there, right? But, like, there's a support and hit scan that won high ground, and there's a support and hit scan that didn't. You know? And then we're fricked. Goodbye. You're not clutching this. I don't know why we're hopping Kitsune rush here. It's not happening.
A healthy TVNT will clean this up, and it's Quartz on the high ground, undeterred. I mean, he is just uncontested up there on the high ground. Just kind of vomiting damage down.
Nope.
Onto
Nope, 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 nope. Can't do that.
second point here for Twisted Minds. As they're gonna ditch that Soch, gonna
You
go
can't do
over
it.
to the Cassidy. So they definitely want to play a little, especially as we come into this inside.
I don't mind the cast here. It's all right. I think Sojourn is fine, but okay, what happens here?
This inside portion of the map. I mean,
They rush the point. They teleport flank to flip, which I actually think is okay. They get a pretty decent vortex, but Freya still has. So Freya gets caught in the rotation here.
working for now. The rush out from Simple. But Ziad denying the movement of the card can't hold it any.
Oh no! What a vortex from TVNT. So they kind of get clumped up here, and I don't think they have Suzu anymore. And then they get the off-angle pincer, and then Kellex and Checkmate both get vortex and pinced. That's unfortunate. That feels like that shouldn't have happened given the opening pick that they had there. Even if that did cost resources, that sucks. I actually think the flip here from Alcad's pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, Simple did pop Kitsune, so maybe that's a little bit unfair of me to say. Unfortunate.
Draining a few of these key team fight ultimates. Yeah, but looking to make a hold on Route 66 last point. The sim wall here is going to be crazy in terms.
Cass has such insane, consistent burst potential here, right? More so than any of the other two, Sojourn or Freya, at this range, right? There's the sim wall. There just isn't any attempt to cause any sort of chaos here. You're going into a sim wall and you don't have anything. We can't be doing bait teleports here. You know, we can't be doing bait teleports here when they have sim wall. You know, like what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man? Take the TP, dude. Take the TP. Get your Lucy with you or something. Do something ganky or something, or teleport across. Go rotate here. Look down. Pop your ram shield. Force some resources and do a teleport across here. Get your Cassidy across this way. You know, it's just so uninspiring. Like now, yes, you can't peek it because there's the sim wall Freya shooting down at you. And then I think you could also argue that Ziad probably dropped a little soon here too. Like I don't think we need to drop here. We could just stand here and shoot. But man, it's just I can count on one thumb the number of times I felt like Alcat in these either neutral or light ultimate situations have had a better DPS position. You just can't do it. There's just nothing that's it. It's just absolute domination. Absolute domination. All right, let's see. We talked about it earlier in the dev update. Yeah. So swinging wide. Pure DPS diff? Well, I mean, yeah, we've already said though. Like, how many times have we seen Lebda just completely unsupported? You know, or Ziad taking an unbelievable amount of damage on main just because he's not like this. I think like as a whole, Alcad just hasn't looked as comfortable with this stuff. You know. I mean, Ziad died when Quartz got the high ground, just rained down terror onto Landon, right, with the Kitsune rush. Let's not forget, Ziad died first. He just died to nothing. Like, he didn't even die to Freya angle. He died to nothing. Like, you know? Okay.
Already a little uncomfortable not piloting the Diva. So you see Ziad rounds the corner. Shots going in over the shield. The main tank of Alcatia here.
They're going to swing left, or at least our perspective left. Ram on point. Can they get the Soj top? This is not bad. I think this is okay. We can get a bit of a flip here. You can even fake teleport, and that buys time for your Soj to get some damage in. That's a nice little flip there. Nice little flip there from Alcad. And then Soj in there. Oh, just Lebda, what are you doing? What are we doing, man? What are we doing? How many times does this have to happen? Okay, this one is Lebda's fault. So Lebda goes here and then flips to the left, which I think probably should just have stayed. I don't know why he rotates away from there. Maybe there's fear of the teleporter. But yeah, he goes inside here. This is his lane here. I don't know why he chooses this lane. I probably prefer Sem or something along those lines controlling this lane instead. But you kind of need the more open lane here. Build your rail and just pop the Frey out of the sky. Whatever, okay? Like, we can sit here and split hairs, whatever. Fine. But he's got the lane. He opens his lane and walks onto the floor and dies. It's like what he did in King's Row first defense. Do you remember that? Why is... So Kellex crosses the lane to help him. That's kind of a setup mistake. Whatever. Stuff happens in these... But what are we doing? He didn't just leave the corner. He walked onto the floor. What are we doing? It's the same mistake they did in King's Row. Why? What are you doing? Probably thought he wasn't being supported. But it doesn't matter. You hold the lane. This is way more lethal to be here. He's full HP. So yes, the support may have come there earlier, but like honestly, I don't even think that's necessarily true. I don't know why he's here. Hold the lane, man. Or if you're gonna flip, like then flip across to the other high ground, and you have to use your slide for that if you have it. Like you can't just drop and walk. Horrific, man. Complete unforced error there. And then now, I mean, now we know what's gonna happen now. Raid boss, you know, uncontested. You just cannot do this. You can't do that. Complete unforced error. Complete unforced error, man. It's just tragic, man. I don't understand that. There's something must have happened there. I just don't know. And from what I know, Lebda's Frey is just not up to par with Quartz either. So, you know, we can go maybe Frey is the better character. Maybe you just have to force it. So I actually think the Frey swap is fine here. Because you don't have to be better on the character for it to be a justifiable pick. But let's see. Probably should have held that top. They're going to flip. Good shot. Good shot. Good shot. Nice. Good stuff. Now, can we raid boss? Oh, I'm going to lose it, guys. I'm just so disappointed. You did the one thing. You got handed a fight win right now. So what do you need to do? What did Quartz do in this exact same situation? Hold the lane.
Even if you
hold
thought
it.
You're gonna die. It's
right.
better to die stalling
Well,
on an angle than to overcommit and die for it. No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, basically, sure. But what are we doing, man? What are you doing? Where's the Kiri? Where's the Sim? Where's the Lucio? Immediately look for backliners here. You have the height angle for free. We give up the angle, back up, and shoot a blocking ram. This is, by the way, the TVNT Ziad diff, maybe here. Just press the block harder, right? But you literally gave up your lane here for free. And again, I want to highlight here, if you look carefully, I don't think anybody from Alcad is holding this space anymore. They kill the Freya, the only person that can contest them here. They legitimately walk off of the high ground, down the lane, instead of holding the height. No. No. Nobody's there. No. And so despite being up one, this is Trade City, Mess Zone. Landon doesn't quite have a support ult yet. And now Quartz is back. Hold the line! You won the duel. You got support. Your teleport was better. The Vortex, the Sem TP turrets. Wow, my days. They just gave up all the space. I actually wonder, is there anybody on... There is one person on the floor. It's just horrific, man. Inexcusable at this level from these teams. Inexcusable. And now Daddy's back. Daddy's back. Look at that. Lebda's on the floor. Quartz is hitting the shots. You can't possibly, you can't win duels like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even a condemnation of his mechanics. You can't win duels like this. You can't win duels like this. Nobody can win duels like this. I could throw a Masters player in that situation and he'd beat Lebda. You know, like you can't win duels like this, right? You can't. And look at where TM is. As soon as they drop, look at what happens the second into Chaos. They push to the Kitsune. They get the trade. Look at where TVNT is moving towards. Height. Look at where the rotation is. Right back to height. Go back, take the position. And then as this fight stabilizes, 4v4, by the way, look at where Twisted Minds is. Look at where they are. Look at that. And Ziad tries to go back. Nope, 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 nope. Sit down. Sit down. Know your place, trash. On the floor. Quartz is king. Right? This is a team thing. This is obviously, we've criticized Lebda, but this is a very much a team problem here. And TVNT's so freaking good at living. Holy crap. Like, I'm not gonna even lie with you guys. He goes in with the annihilation there. They shield him off. They start to pressure. He shields himself off, tucks inside the corner with the Kitsune Rush, vortexes himself, and just hides. Just buy time. Live. Crazy, man. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Insanity. Beat, Simwall, Freya ult. Alright, what do we got here? Teleport, shield for teleport, flip. Quartz has to leave. Can they track Quartz? Oh! He's just insane, dude. No hesitation. Just immediately rotate, flip the map, go underneath, find a different angle. He's got scouting because of the perk as well. And he just goes. Bam. Instant death. No support on that angle initially, by the way. Now he gets the support, and then now he's just egoing. So Alcat actually gets the height, but they don't mark the flanks from underneath, and so they almost get punished for it. Well, look at that. Lebda beating up on Quartz. And crazy. I wonder what the difference in their situation is. So how is TM going to retake space here? Being up 1, how do they retake space? Quartz tries to do a silly flank again, gets caught. He tries to do the same thing on the other side, and they smoke him. Simwall for Simwall. Oh no, Lebda. Dude. I'm going to weep. Quartz dies again. Gets a little bit silly with it, right? Quartz dies again. Here's a question, guys. What would Quartz do in this exact same situation? What would Quartz do? What would Quartz do? What would Quartz do? What would Quartz do? Come on, what would Quartz do? Especially with Freya dead. W key, right. Walk to the flank, drop Bola, instant painful death. Or hold the lane, find an angle. Right, exactly. What does Lebda do? Drops on the same lane as his team into the floor, and Bola shots a Simwall. Right? Criminal. Again, they're up 1 and doing nothing to leverage that position with space whatsoever. TM teleports out, opens up space. Ziad gets the kill. They get the trade. But just, oh my gosh. It's so messy, man. Alright, how are TM going to retake this? I think you just teleport out Kitsune Rush and then beat the second things get messy. And then as long as your beat Rush and Kitsune kind of jam Lebda into an awkward spot, you're going to win the game. All you have to do is teleport at the fray with Kitsune, Suzu, shield, whatever, and then it's over.
Getting dangerously close to that Bola shot. We've seen time and time again. He drops those right on top.
They bait the TP, walk to point. Kitsune Rush on point. I actually don't really like this plan from TM here. I think with the superior support ult, you can just brute force high ground, and in 8 seconds left, Ziad cannot live. I think this gives Lebda the opportunity to clutch it, because there isn't really anything stopping. And yeah, there it is. There it is. I don't even know where Lebda is right now. Very strange choice from TM to just go to run to point. There it is. All right. What a mess. There's no way, man.
Take it. One more fight here.
I did not watch the end of this map, so I knew that Alcad lost, but I did not know what. So the beat comes in, Simple's low. Checkmate gets caught in these trades. That teleport's a little shallow. Maybe they're over-focusing TVNT? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, this is just, like, you look at this and you're just like, there's no way, right? I mean, Lebda doesn't really hit a whole lot of shots as well. And you can tell that I think that I'm pretty sure he's shooting the Freya as well, or shooting the Ram as well. So it's really hard to know what's happened, but like in these devolve fights, but there's just no way that, I don't know. Hard to say. Leddo was uncontested and was unable to secure anything. Maybe that's the biggest thing to point out. That's just criminal, man. Just criminal. Just criminal. All right. Last one. See, I didn't get beat. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But he wasn't also the first person to die there either. Maybe you could say just, I just need to hold block there and, yeah. Okay. Alcad still doesn't ban Ram. I don't know how the results are, scrim results are on this map, so this is kind of where, like, I'm just not going to say anything because I don't know what they're... But if you're, like, one map to lose, there's a pretty good argument that, okay, yeah, you should probably just ban Ram. But also, you can't... Just from the sake of momentum more so than anything else, it's not a question of mathematics at this point, obviously, because you have to win 3. But I guess there's just a point of, like, maybe D.Va's, like, pretty solid in this point, so... Yeah, that would be my expectation. I don't really get the Brig ban. Maybe it's just banning something random. Maybe Juno Brig is playable here? I don't know. But again, we're just in a situation where, like, I don't see Alcad's advantage here, really. Besides Kiriluso, maybe. So, yeah, Zodiel. I was just thinking of Zodiel, right? Those solo flanks. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that was just a Quartz masterclass, man. Like, it just, not even really a masterclass. Maybe that's a little bit too much glazing. Just, he's uncontested. He gets support. He rewards you for the support that he gets. Leb does sometimes get support, usually doesn't, and then does not reward you for the support and just acts coward. At least this particular match is very cowardly. Expecting a Wuyang banning Brig makes that harder into the D.Va. So you're saying you would run Brig Wuyang here? I guess you could say Juno Brig would be fine into the D.Va here. Yeah, maybe it must be a Juno Brig into D.Va thing. Must be. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Yeah.
Can they find this boa constrictor feeling, just playing it slow, grinding out the cooldown?
TM swings wide. Remember, they can brute force any angle that they want with Ram versus D.Va. D.Va has to avoid and wrap and bait, flank, and angle. Fake teleport, just applying a little bit of pressure early. They're going to respond to that. They're going to mark that angle, break that teleport. Both teams real low off of that. Big disruptor shot. I want to highlight again just how poorly optimized visually disruptor shot is right now. I've given them feedback for this 3 or 4 times, and so it's still really hard to see. I know visual clutter's a thing, but it's a lethal clutter. It should be more visual, and yeah. So I'm just hoping that they fix that at some point. It's kind of annoying. Weird teleporter there. Oh, it's for his Ram. It's for his Ram. It's a little off place, but yeah. So Alcad's just gonna run it down. I think they see teleport, and that's their cue for setting up an angle off of their yeah. So they do they TP Sem D.Va onto backline, and then Soj stays behind. I like this from Alcad, actually. I really do. They see teleporter. They know their window for an angle. Remember, teleporter is your angle in this comp a lot of the time, and then they just immediately go in and they just get out, right? And yes, it was risky, but you got the trade that you needed here. Like, Checkmate dies. What does Checkmate even die to? Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. The only problem here is that Calyx gets caught on that rotation. I don't really know if I like Calyx going all the way in with them. I think they could have played that one a little bit more patiently. Just hit squad with your D.Va Sem, off angle, and then go from there. But it's still good enough, maybe. As long as the guy can live, it's good enough. Oh no. Okay, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. No! Okay, I think we're fine. Shoot. Holy crap, that was stressful. Oh, yeah. Pretty good play from Alcad, yeah. There's the teleport flip. They get the vortex. Oh, no. Calyx. No, Calyx is getting caught in rotation. Kellex goes for the boop on teleport, then gets vortexed, I'm pretty sure. Where is Kellex? He's top right. Yeah, he just gets teleported on and doesn't get out. The Suzu, I don't know if it would have hit him or not, but you can't do that. Like, you can't die on teleport. You can't die on teleport. You have to be faster than that. That's like the skill check for these teams. So, unforced error there. And I can forgive, you might be like, well, why are you harsh on Kellex there? But like before, they just TP'd and just killed Simple. First off, Simple got railed, which I don't know if Kellex got railed. I mean, I don't think he did. Yeah, he just got punched. But the other thing as well is it's like, in that situation here, it's like the first thing you're thinking of. It's like, where are they going to teleport for retake? And the only thing you have to do is not die. You know, so, I don't know. I won't say it's a sloppy, but it's a little sloppy. It's a little sloppy. You hate to see that. That's too easy of a retake from TM from a pretty nice neutral from Alcad. What do I see for top 500 main support with poor mechanics specifically? Practice it. Practice, practice, practice. Go into the game and practice your aim. Go into the game, practice your aim. Go into the game, practice your aim. Practice your aim. Go in and put your attention onto where your crosshair is aiming and so on, and nothing else. That inconsistency of play. It looks like they're playing slow for beat because they know this is going to beat layering fight. Okay, let's see what we got here. What prompted this? Okay, so they see shield, they see teleport, and then they use that as an opportunity to open wide with a left to angle with ult, which I like. Okay. It's over. It's over again. It's over again. You see it again? Do you see it again? It's over. Teleport play is fine. It's over. You're fricked. What would Quartz do? What would Quartz do? I hate to say it again, but what would Quartz do? There's just no way Quartz would just dump his ult into an ulting ram. There's just no way. He doesn't even look. He doesn't even look down the lane here. He doesn't check behind him to the right. He doesn't even look at the person that's on his screen right now. He just shoots blocking ram. And we've seen TVNT. TVNT is not going to fall for the bait. The thing is he doesn't even need to rotate, really. He just there's a target right there. They're Kitsune rushing right here. You could just walk to here. They're there. It's over, man. It's over. When you see this is all that we've seen this entire map. TVNT's not an idiot. He's going to hold block. Block, 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 block. Kitsune rush. Block, 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 block. Kitsune rush. And then they get the teleport and they flip the map. And then we slide it around! What are you doing? Oh! Why is that when you decide to go in? It's over, man. Freaking yeah, it's just stress, man. It's stress. Okay. All right. Memeing aside. This is stress, match nerves, macro, lack of confidence, multiple factors, whatever. Lebda is a great player, and I wish him nothing but the best. And I hope that if whatever reason he comes across this in the future, any other player from Alcad, that they get this, they take this as a respectful, overreacted kick in the pants, because these guys are way too good to be playing like this. They have the capability of doing this, man. Lebda is a smart, mechanically capable player. We've seen that already. He's already it is a, whether it's a confidence or an understanding of space control, I don't know. He deserves so much more than this, man. So much more than this. This is not the caliber of player that Lebda is. It just isn't. Yeah. What would Quartz do? What would Quartz do? Right? So all memes aside, you know, you're better than that, man. Like, you're better than that. We know that. You think Quartz is the best DPS in the world right now? Probably, yeah. You have a wide open lane and an active sight line. And this is another moment as well. So I know we've seen teleport here and ram shield, and that's generally a pretty good cue for using a support ult in these situations, because it means it's going to be harder to disengage.
But while we're spreading the blame around a little bit here, look at the positioning from Alcad right now. Why are we Kitsune rushing Landon? Landon is a phenomenal player and incredibly smart. Probably the best Western flex support, I think. But what are we doing? As soon as I saw this, I was like, dude, what is going on? This is not Alcad right here. Look at the gap between Landon and backline and then the people that they're ulting for. Look at the gap. This is the easiest ult to kite in the world. And they didn't even have the cooldowns for it. Look at that. It's just a rare mistake from Alcad. Like, Alcad, like, let me clarify this. Alcad, I don't think, has made this mistake once almost this entire tournament. I bet somebody could probably dig up a Kitsune rush that wasn't super well placed. Probably at some point in the tournament. But this doesn't, it hasn't happened. As bad as they've played today, there's not been a single Kitsune rush like this. And yet, here we go. This is just, yeah. It's just snowballing. It's snowballing. Just walk away. That reminds me of like elimination stage or like of the 2022 Grand Finals of Dallas Fuel with the Kiriko Kitsune rushing. Like some of the really bad teams popping their Kiriko ult. That's way too early, you know. And the worst part about it is your position with Lebda definitely improves. But it's not even like good enough, right? What happens to Yubi here? Wait, what the frick is Yubi doing? Yubi? Yubi a little off in the beat timing there. There's your Violet moment right there. Yubi goes in at the complete wrong time with the beat engage, so that's a miscommunication there. Yeah, and to be honest, he shouldn't have taken the teleport either way. He can do the teleport, but he can't take it at that HP. That's a goofy mistake there from Yubi. Unforced error. I think they got ironically a little excited how badly that fight went. Ooh, TVNT. I do not like that. I do not like that at all. Wow, this is very sloppy from both teams here. This entire fight was a train wreck from both teams. What do you think of Geeky bans for Alcad? I didn't see them. I missed a lot of this tournament. Cap. Simwall advantage, a little bit of Soj ult advantage. This should be a free wide flip for Lebda. Could even just use Simwall to guarantee cap. It's fine. Teleport used, disruptor shot, ram shield. You should Simwall this right now. There it is. Then Lebda swings wide. Would have liked to have gotten a trade here. There's definitely an opportunity there, but it's a good teleport out from Twisted Minds. But then Yubi gets caught in the... Where does Yubi? I don't know where Yubi is. Maybe he was flipped inside. A couple of shots there. But yeah, that was a... Even if Twisted Minds just pieces out, that's a very expensive kite for Twisted Minds there. And so even if they would have gotten capped. So that was a good Simwall. Good little flip there from Alcad. Kai, I don't think so. I think the gap between Genji and some of these two teams is probably fairly large enough to where they probably wouldn't have done so well. They would have done better than some of the other teams here as well, for sure, but yeah. This looks like a posture of kiting from Alcad. This looks like a Kitsune rush kite. Because you can tell like how Lebda's positioned, like they're looking to disengage here, and Checkmate's just waiting to teleport out on the angle. Diva drops. Teleports used backwards. This is very strange. Very strange engage from Alcad. They're going to use the Soj ult here, but there's nothing to shoot, and then Ziad goes behind a wall. So actually, ironically, Ziad getting ulted there, booped there, might have been good for him. But the difference is that Ziad actually dies. Can you guys tell me why Ziad dies here? So this is a very strange ult plan, but it works. But do you want to know why? Look at the checkmate angle here. So the pocket's there from Landon. And then that's it. So that's unironically where shooting Ram actually works when he can get him to turn his back, right? Really good angle there from Checkmate. Can they get one more? They need to get one more. It's not a clean fight win. Yeah, I think Genji got scammed a little bit, but I also think Genji kind of played poorly as well. Kitsune rush, Kitsune, sim angle. Really hard to go uphill. Yubi takes the TP. Gets a little bit far from his TP, and I think it gets booped and isolated. Yeah, that's a mistake from Yubi. Pretty nice play there from Ziad there. Quartz catches Lebda, but they end up punishing him for it. Annihilation's used, Diva Bomb is used, TP Bomb almost works. It's a good attempt. And you have to be happy with this trade, Alcat. Even if you lose this, you're trading Tank Colt for Tank Colt, and you just need to full out. You 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 need to full out. Oh, no. What a poor kite. Again, just unforced errors. This has gone fine for Alcat. Like, they got some decent trades. They got another 10, 15 meters. Ram ult for Diva Bomb is a fine trade. It's just, they just didn't get out, man. They just didn't get out. Like, just, and now it's going to mean one, and it's going to mean another. Unfortunate. Very sloppy reset. Yeah, Checkmate is really good at TP Bomb. They're, I think, just really, really good at that. It's really nice to watch. Unfortunate because Alcat should already be fighting here, and they should probably stop the bad respawn from going away as well. Okay. Early OC, but honestly, you kind of have to pop something here. You really don't want to pop your beat early for sure. And Simwall would probably be too easy to kite, so let's see what they do. They isolate Ziad. I'm telling you guys, I'm just telling you, what would Quartz do? He gets the support, he gets the speed, and he gets the double slide, and then the team comes flying in to help him out. That's the difference right there. He pops the ult, and he deepens. He pops the ult, and he deepens when given the opportunity. That's the difference right there. Hitting that shot or not is sometimes not, I won't say luck, it's skill, but it may or may not always happen, but it's the right play. Huge, 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 huge pick there. Huge pick there. A little bit of a strange amp, but teleport is really dangerous. Understandable. Looking for a beat layer. Sim ult's used. Sim ult needs to be used patiently. That used a Sim ult in response. Ziad is kind of getting melted here, so they actually back off the Sim ult trade because they're just kind of standing on main and shooting at Ram. So they need to be really careful. Beat is used. I don't know what cues this Beetle, but it might have been like Vortex Shield or Teleport. Probably Teleport. There's beat for beat. They flip the map. And this is where Lebda has to pop off. Because this is where the great equalizer is such that Lebda's angle is better than Quartz's angle because of the map flip. Checkmate dies. Checkmate ends up getting caught in the open. And you can even see it from Lebda, right? So Lebda building rail. Oh, Landon. Yeah, the map flip wasn't smooth. And I wonder if they...
Both Lucios looking to have the better beat. Katsuya go first. Funny ass with the better response. Quartz just barely gets the beat in time. But still they're chasing him. Still they're hunting for more. UB finds checkmate.
Yeah, Landon screws up there. Landon needed to be able to hold that high angle and be able to keep himself alive. That feels unfortunate.
Still pushing this cart. And if they retake this lead now, Matt, it's dire straits for Katsuya.
Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Yeah.
I know there's one more player here though. Kellex trying to get out of harm's way. That's going to be the Kitsune rush.
They're going to try to match it. Kitsune comes in too late. Ram just has so much staying presence on point here. So much damage, especially when your Diva's or your Symmetra's pre-ramped. This is over, man. This is over. It's too late to look at backline, my friend. Too late.
Looking to complete this map. Looking to potentially close out the series here and take home the trophy in Stockholm. And they lose Landon here late. Quartz building up towards yet another overclock.
Quartz deep lane, early pressure, already has rail, forces the DMAC early. That's going to force bomb for remake. They're going to kill other folks. At the same time, look at the setup here from TM. So they have Sim TP deep with Ram. They actually leave cart entirely. They don't even care about cart. They get the trade and they just get out. It's over. Just doesn't care. Just doesn't care, man. Quartz deserves the MVP. MVP for sure. Absolutely deserves the MVP. Ram versus the Diva variant. I mean, I think it's really just a skill thing, but really felt like Really felt like Ziad had a hard time. A couple of unforced errors, overextensions, some mistimings for sure. Layering was often pretty neutral for both teams. I think both teams made equal mistakes, but when you're not decisively beating through macro and fight planning and layering, and you have inferior map control and I have inferior mechanics, not even inferior mechanics, just this game, right? Then you're not going to win. There's nothing that Alcad did better than TM this map, I don't think. There's nothing. I think every single aspect of the game was equal or better for TM. I think you can criticize the ban strategy for sure. Maybe some momentum here would have been helpful for Alcad, but ultimately I do think that is a bit hindsighty. Ultimately, you didn't really know that in the moment. Some comp questions for sure. Maybe around the Freya, lack of Freya ban. Certainly on some of the attempts of the stuff that they were trying to do in Nepal. But I mean, basically TLDR is that Quartz plays angles. And the push-pull aspect, while being relatively even, that mid-fight, early fight, off-angle stuff from Quartz was crippling, and Lebda was just unable to match that in any way, shape, and form on any hero, on any map, at any point in time. And Lebda has that capability, but he needs more support, and he needs more confidence in those situations. Yeah. Dominant. I mean, really outside of New Jung City, I don't think this was close. Because even the initial stuff here, like once TM got their mojo, it just was it was just a steamroll. Do you think it would have won without UB? Probably not. No, I think the sim stuff was vital for how TM was playing. I think Psycho's a great player. I just think with the way that this meta is working out for these teams, I don't think it would have changed the result. Well, I think it would have changed the result. Yeah, Quartz is just insane. Quartz gets the resources, and Quartz rewards you for those resources. Lebda looks scared the entire game. Alcad as a whole looks scared the entire game, a little flustered. And yeah, it's a team game though. I think there's some unforced errors from Ziad frequently. Some bad layers, some unforced deaths from Kellex as well. Landon had a couple of beefs as well. I mean, I don't think anybody played perfectly or played super trash, But Quartz deserves MVP, man. Pharmacy would have won. All right, I'll look at the Crazy Raccoon Pharmacy. Really fast. Is this the one here? Oh, there's the Doomfist we were talking about. Where was it? Surely not in Busan. King's Row, maybe? Maybe King's Row? Oh, it was on King's Row. All right.
On their last tournament life, need for some reverse.
First point, baby. It's been a long time since I've seen this. This used to be a legitimate strategy way back in the day. Very much a first point. My phone is going nuts, so I might need a second. I might have to check it in a second. But yeah, TLDR, first point cheese. First point, Mercy's pretty good. Not a lot of push-pull needed. Just win the fight. Kill people.
Here.
Okay, I gotta check my phone. Give me just a second. Oh! Mercy got banned by TM on Unusapi. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, Farah's fine here. Farah's good here. Farah with Mercy's good here. Probably won't play it on second point as much.
Also, after first
you probably go like
point,
Kiriko or something.
Spawn on KR is pretty close, so Mercy Farah can just swap as soon as the cap goes off. If you win decisively enough, you can just be waiting in there.
Yeah.
Chorong Mercy. They're going Farah Mercy. Their answer, maybe, to this Ram. Of all things I didn't expect to see, this is definitely up there.
I've seen it all.
I'm surprised he didn't go deeper.
He's saying, what you got?
Surprised he didn't go deeper with her, Farah. Even with teleport, you know? Quartz retaking space, gets pocketed, doesn't get the opportunity, slides out, loses the lane, teleport flip. Oh, he missed his rail. What did he miss? Where's the rail? Oh, he just missed it.
Is a legend. When his mom asks him to pause his online game, he can actually do it.
That's right. That's right. That's me. 7 months. Thank you for the sub. I do pause it. I pause the entire lobby. Diva is banned. True. Yep.
Still looking for these off angles are the hit scans. There's a Chorong and Heesang in the skies currently, and he chases down Funny Astro. Okay.
It's fine trade.
Heesang eventually shut down,
Yeah.
but Lip on the high
Farah's a
ground.
tank here.
The damage boost now. After they heal up the front line.
Quartz is just killing everybody, but, you know, eventually. You know, Quartz is really fighting for that space as well. Do they swap off the Mercy?
And you can hear the Korean fans roaring as Chris Raccoon secure this first point cap.
I mean, they could stay, I
This
guess.
is their last hope, their last chance, the Korean fan base, to cheer on one of their
It'd be interesting if they did.
World Finals. But
They
down to
keep
1
it?
point, Chris Raccoon.
Wow, okay.
Plenty left to go. How do they operate this second point?
Flash heal supremacy, man.
With the benefit of Heesang's Far as he comes up with that barrage.
Perma flank, hide on the roofs, is going to be the aim of the game. Not many angles here for Heesang to fire down, so Quartz is going to be able to check a little bit
Oh,
easier.
jeez.
They're actually just
It's a lot of damage on that rotation.
5 on that cart right now. Crazy Raccoon. The rest of the team just has to
Shu
survive.
gets run down. Max gets run down as well. Quartz just basically marks the angle here.
It's up there. Mobility.
But Kitsune Rush and Beat are like their strong points there, and then there's a huge... Oh, good Bob. Really good Bob.
Gets booped in. Bob deployed.
TVNT's fricked.
Going to be doing a fair bit of damage here with Lip. Yeah,
This
so
is fun to watch.
choke point secured.
I'm not even analyzing this one super, guys. I'm just gonna have some fun with this one. I didn't see this one. Cool. Thank you for the recommendation.
But if you can force abuse the effect of the biotic grenade, that anti-healing so effective at killing targets.
Nano far off for sure.
Yeah, you can insta-pop people as well. If you land an A, then land a damage boosted rocket. It's GG.
It's too much.
They need Simwall desperately. There it is.
Crazy Raccoon here. TP.
Flip. Take the angle. Simwall doesn't come in time. Wait, did they nano? They did get it in time. Nano barrage shut down. Disaster. And then they TP angle. They get the res, but it shouldn't matter. This is a huge advantage for TM. TM just needs to go funky.
It's not enough.
He needs to go right. I don't know why they're not going right. Rare miss there from Quartz, and then Farah fills that angle.
Back on the Lucio as he tries to get
Quartz!
They are gonna contest this one. TVNT coming up on the lane.
That was a huge mistake there. You're up 1? Okay, you're even. And they didn't open up the right angle. Bizarre. Just go up the stairs, dude. Go flank around, you know?
TVNT coming up on the lane.
Interesting.
But they step off the cart. Crazy Raccoon.
Unforced error there. Does Chorong go back Mercy? Probably, right? 3rd point's fine for Mercy. Definitely not Lucio. Just gonna go Weaver. Weaver's actually... Okay, he's gonna Mercy.
Annihilation for Max. Yeah.
Suffering.
UB's lights out. It falls in the fray, but they're all good. You got the res.
That's commitment. The swap over to the Lucio. Hold on, we won. I'm back on the Mercy. For that card present. So now
Got the good perk.
How do you keep Max alive in a situation like this? Twisted Minds, they have the Kitsune Rush.
Oh, this is going to be a really good bob angle. Don't bob yet. Don't bob yet. Don't bob. Too early of a bob. Well, I guess it's a good placement, but probably a little early. That could have been kited. But it was placed well. I just would have waited half a second.
But they're going to be able to build them up pretty quick. TVNT, you need to come up with an answer.
I guess the concept there is that they want to stop the teleport from getting off, so I respect that, actually.
Didn't even see the rocket coming. Lip finds another.
Nano Barrage this time. It works. Wow.
So Twisted Mind thinking about the Mercy. They gotta do what they've done already so far.
Zarya?
Play this Symmetra to perfection.
I guess it's just to pocket the cast on the angle with teleport. That's basically what you're playing Zarya for. You're just all-inning on Quartz.
They want to clear out this high ground, remove Shu from his advantageous positional high ground. But you gotta be wary of these rockets coming in from east side.
Yeah, just downtown, sitting in that window, like, what do you have to contest that window? You have to wide swing if you're Quartz, you beacon right click of course, but maybe this is the plan. A little flank.
Quartz catches him.
Click of course, but
This is what I talked about with Bubble, right? Being able to do that because of Bubble is just absurd.
Well, it looks like he just wide swung and double hit him. So, well, that answers that question, Johnny.
Spoke too soon? Yeah.
Quartz is one of them.
Hold the lane.
Only headshots on Shu. Only headshots.
Yeah, he's trying to catch the nade there. I'm surprised he didn't go back on the angle. He's mixing it up a little bit. I respect it. Good map control here from Twisted Minds, man. Such good map control. Look at how they're positioning this one here. Sim top, Lucio top, Cass. He just screws up the mechanics there, but he still gets the space for it, right? He still marks the angle, which means he's saying has some problems, right? They should still cap this. Yeah, it works. It's good, man. It's good. It's good stuff from TM. It's like Crazy Raccoon. Like this is just as much of a good reminder of that TM knows what they're talking about when it comes to off angles, you know. Kiriko swap.
They got Barrage up with a couple too. Nano. At least you can move with a Barrage now, you know what I mean? But realistically, you're still going to get blown.
It's high noon. We're looking for a teleport.
Pushes them forward.
Oh, he misses the teleport.
Back up. Pop through.
He misses the teleport. Oh, no, Shu gets out. That sucks. That's a big ult combo. Bubble, TP, High Noon is actually probably really freaking good versus this, no? To what extent do you put the meta down? Like 40%, 50%. But I think saying it's like, it's a large skill level. EMEA deserved it. No more so than any other situation.
Okay, there's the rush. It's a backwards rush.
It gets kited. It gets disengaged.
Nice timing.
That's so well done. But he's dying.
Or straight from the skies. They need something. Nano boost on the fire, but sure on.
Great sim wall.
And funny, Astro hits the beat too. A boop onto Max. Still Nano on fire. It's going to eventually dissipate. But Twisted Minds, I mean, they still got this
Suffering?
high energy Zarya.
Nope, Bob first. Oh no, Astro overextends. He gets bobbed. Then directed. And then the grab is good, but the grab is way too far. They should have been more patient. Raccoon just gets too... Or Twisted Minds just gets a little bit greedy. They just need more patience, man. Patience and reestablish your angles. Greed kills them there. A little bit too fast, a little too early.
And Twisted Minds, they lost so many ultimates. That was their ultimate economy. Gone. They traded it for Crazy Raccoon, but Twisted Minds are so much more reliant on it.
For the high noon, that's about it. They can try and be tricky with it, but I don't think Crazy Raccoon are going to fall for these. Not anymore. TP behind, little bait maybe.
Again, they just kind of screw up the teleport plays. They look pretty sloppy here. They looked good in first point, but they look much worse in second point with these rotates and flips. This is better. But that you need to do that with your noon, man, you know? They missed that opportunity. Awkward's loving that one.
Nice flashbang there from Quartz. Hinders Strong's movement.
And that's actually a bad trade for Crazy Raccoon, but they have the Nano and the Barrage to go here.
Yo, what's going on up here? Oh, Lip! That's why he's
That's insane. That's insane, dude. You think individual performance is going to these ones? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hold firm here on second point. 2 minutes remaining for Twisted Minds here.
Hello! Hello, Stu!
Love that.
Yeah, the confidence is back.
It's a naked neutral fight. You're going into support ults here. You might as well gamble, you know? Reset the old economy a little bit. Gain 10-15% more across the board. It's a good play.
Seeing their team finding some momentum, starting to look comfortable.
Wall bangs.
This would be a massive map to get.
That was their teleport as well, so you can kind of be free to do whatever you want. Oh, angle maxing. Love that, dude.
God, he's so good.
Oh! Courts.
A bit there, a bit frustrated with himself. Losing that high ground position of Max. Used Annihilation to stay alive.
I wouldn't have died there. I would have gotten the kill. You guys know me. I would have gotten it. All right.
They should have all the ingredients required.
Yeah, but Twisted Minds needs to check their corners and be deliberate with this. There's the Katuni rush. There's the Katuni rush. Heesing gets smoked on the repeak. Okay, they win this one out. Double support ult there is fine for TM. Winning 1 for 1, or 2 for 1, and then being able to establish your map control is fine here.
Lucio speed ring from Juno, get everybody out the spawn doors. Kiri to TP, min-maxing to get back to the point.
But the worrying sign is the Crazy Raccoon.
Who's going to be set up top? What is?
And the High Noon comes out.
Bob Quartz dodges it. There's the wall. Quartz needs an angle though, can't find it.
They just didn't really take any space here. The TM. The TP felt half-hearted. The High Noon felt half-hearted. The sim wall was fine. The sim wall was good, but it just isn't like. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of spice behind it, you know? You gotta be a little bit. You gotta match that level of creativity. They didn't even use their grav. Yeah, well earned by Crazy Raccoon. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Just demolishing Twisted Minds. We're going to a map 4.
That's fun to watch.
We knew Crazy Raccoon.
That's fun to watch.
Players through that.
TM bans Mercy next? I wouldn't be surprised. What's the next map? You said Runasapi? I mean, you could play Pharmacy in Runasapi. Yep, there's the Mercy ban. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, good little match there. A little bit of hide and seek, a little bit of poke hero nonsense. You know, it's funny. You look at that definitely reminds you more of like the kind of ranked play style of just like hide on flanks and stuff like that. And reality is that's just kind of how it looks when you're playing those characters. You know, you just rarely see on a Mercy, you know, Ashe and on Escort, on King's Row, on Scrim's Row, you know, and pro play anymore.
Love the sweater. Hope you're doing well. I finished
thank you.
my project Thursday.
Wait.
So more Overwatch.
Hello,
Have a
Calyx.
great week,
Merry
Bozo.
Gainesmas. It's not my sweater, of course. Hope you're doing well. Finished Project Thursday. Some more Overwatch. Have a great week, Bozo. You too, mate. I appreciate it. Congrats on the 2.5 years. Why didn't Genji's play much right now? He's just not super strong right now. Not super strong. Doesn't really fit very well in the meta either. So, no, it's not that deep. He got nerfed a bit. So, that was fun. Do you think Saudi will win World Cup again? They got a good chance for it. It depends on the meta at the point in time, really. Saudi is, I think, more meta reliant than some of the other teams are. But Saudi has a really good shout, yeah. But yeah, I don't know much about the World Cup rule set right now. I do know that they have like a lend a player thing. That's probably going to have some significant impact on some of the mid-ish tier teams, B tier teams that might be able to punch up. So there could be a chance for upsets as well. Buffs and nerfs next match, no predictions. I have no idea. I'm gonna laugh though if we probably will see a Sim nerf because she's doing pretty well in rank. But I'm gonna laugh depending on what we see. We'll see how much of it is OWCS pilled or not. You know. Do you think if Tracer Bullets weren't nerfed, turning would have been different? I think the result would have been the same, but I think it would have been a little bit closer. Admiral about to be the most eligible main support? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How'd you go about nerfing Symmetra and Pro Play without affecting rank? They just need to nerf Teleport HP. Just need to nerf Teleport HP. That's a good start. Or even the Sim Wall HP would be a good start, I think. One of those two things. Or maybe both. The best Vendetta based off playstyle? I have no idea. Anybody that has a track record of picking up new characters well is probably going to do well. So your guess of like Heesang is probably a good shot because Heesang has a really good track record of picking up new characters. Because he's a freak. He's a freak, so. Zest, yeah. I mean, any guy that has a track record of picking up new characters. So, like, I wouldn't guess Kevster or Kai. No offense, right? Or any of the hit scan characters that we've seen. But you can probably guess, like, Heesangs will probably do fine. I don't know. We'll see. Zest, sure. Okay, goodbye. I'm gonna call a stream. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thursday, we have, if you guys remember the 5-minute fix project, we're going to continue that on Thursday. Loves and kisses. Appreciate y'all. Take care of yourself. I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Tell Susie she said hi. Spy a lot. Goodbye, y'all. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. YouTube as well.